Hey, welcome back to. Oh, hold on. That shouldn't be there. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, hold on. How's it going? Welcome back to Velma's Diner. My name is Andre. What can I get you? Oh, why is that auto playing? Hold on. This is on me. All right. Welcome back to Velma's Diner. My name is Andre. What can I get you? It is May 6th, 2026. It's a Wednesday evening. We're back for the Expected Velma's Diner stream. Mind you, we did get a sneak one in earlier this week on Monday. We went off and we did the Drowned City, I believe it was called, a scenario in which we have to figure out why is the water up there and not on the floor. I think it went successful. It was fun. It was actually really quite fun. And there's like two kind of acts to it. First act, killing it. Second act, trying to figure out how to get out of there with the best we can. And I do think in like hindsight, we probably should have picked up the relic in the bottom corner before when we were down there, because we could have just grabbed it. I was worried that holding on to it would be bad, but I don't think that's the case. But I'm so far okay with how we're doing. I think we can do a bit better on the glyphs. I feel like once we biffed the first scenario, or technically the second scenario, since then we've just kind of been like less glyph motivated. But hey, experience is experience, victory is victory. Lucas, how's it going? I'm doing well. I'm excited to be back. Again, 2 streams a week might be a bit much and probably not going to be a thing that we're going to be doing all the time. But do please hit me up if that's too much content. Because if you are watching the campaign and now suddenly you find yourself behind, I don't know, maybe it's dismotivating to kind of keep up. But we're going to keep going, that's for sure. I believe we have like 5 or 6 scenarios here in Rillier, and then we do return back to Arkham for a finale of sorts. So at this point, I think we're exactly at the halfway point, maybe just a bit before the halfway point. But as you can follow the map at the back of the campaign guide, we do kind of make a trek from the west to the east side, and I think we're just kind of getting over the crest. How have you been, Lucas? Otherwise, today we're going to be jumping straight in, which is good because this is definitely a wild scenario. This is the apiary. Mind you, if you don't know what that word means, that's where the bees stay. It's a bee house. And yeah, it's an interesting one. I actually really like this. It feels very exploration based. As you see here on the table, we start with one location and then we have to actually explore to find other locations. Kind of like Forgotten Age, but a bit different the way that it works out. This one's also very notable is that out of all of the scenarios, I think this has the most different change between going west or going east. Sometimes as you just start at a different side and you experience things backwards, but this one actually has a totally different finale. The finale that we're doing this time, I've only done, I think, once. I haven't ever finished a full west expedition, I don't believe. But it is definitely very different than if you go east. If you go east, it's a different finale, that's for sure. They made 11 more AUCOs. Oh, Lucy, I've heard there's so many eggs down here, and you know the eggs be good. They're going to try and do damage to you and draw cards. How you doing, Lucy? Apiary is my favorite scenario from this campaign. Oh, interesting. Do you know if you care more about west or east? As a little spoiler, last time that I went east with my my friend group that plays this, we actually QQ'd the finale. Like we conceded. And conceded as in, like, we just said we completed it. I don't think the finale when you go east is interesting. You get into this, like, sort of kind of loop where you go into a thing, you evade it, you hit it, you hit it, you leave. Next turn, you go into the thing, you hit it, you leave. And it is a lot of turns of just doing that over and over again. And it was not exciting. I think actually last time I went east, it was like the most disappointing finale where we actually decided to be like, okay, we know how this is going to go. It just is a lot of like 5-to-1 tests or 5-to-2 tests, 6-to-2 tests. Let's just like pack it up and say we did it, as opposed to like spending the next hour. Going west, I've done it once. It seemed pretty difficult, so we'll see if we're going to do it. Now, this is the point where we normally open a new investigator pack, but unfortunately we have opened up all 5. So maybe fortunately, we're not going to have more cards. We're just going to be diving straight into this. And I've done a fair bit of the setup already. We have a bit of reading to do because we have an interlude. Of course, go west or east. There's a bit of different story. We'll have to change the bag a bit, but otherwise we're kind of trucking along in. I think today is going to be interesting to see how long it takes us to get through this. I think obviously playing solo quietly to yourself versus playing solo when you're talking to folks and doing all the overlays, our games take a bit. Let me know if they're too long or not. We'll see how it goes. Hey, Katarian, twice in 1 week. How you doing? I'm doing good. How are you doing? I was excited for Wednesday. I didn't think Monday was going to replace it, but I'm excited to like just keep digging through this and deeper we go into really. I prefer the West version of the scenario, but I like both. Okay, cool. Yeah. The East version has like this boss that cares about, I wouldn't say movement. It kind of reminds me of parts of the Dream Eaters, but not amazing. I don't know. I found it to be a very methodical boss battle as opposed to like an exciting, interesting boss battle. But that being said, Let's dive in. We have a bit of an interlude to read real quickly. The Apiary, check your campaign log. If the expedition has headed west, which of course we have, we go to the Apiary 1. The dank tunnels beneath Relia branch and thread endlessly like the capillaries of some giant beast. Shining nodules are stationed at intervals in the wall, pulsing with soft light. After making camp on the third evening, you sit across the tunnel from Andy as he scribbles furiously in his notebook. The conversation soon turns to the events that led you both into Tillingast's employ. It says if you're playing Ursula Downs, if you don't know, Ursula Downs is a character that at the time that this came out had come out like 4 years prior. I don't think she's even in print anymore. I do think there's a call out for another character that was in the original core set. I think these are going to get weirder and weirder. For what it's worth, there was one of these call outs many moons ago for a character that wasn't out at the time. It said like, if you're Monterey Jack, read this. And then we're like, who's Monterey Jack? As much as that was a character that was established in other Arkham games. But yeah, we're not Ursula. Ursula is one of my favorite investigators. She's an explorer. She's really cool. The long and the short of it is, Mr. Tillingast said he had another big story for me, a chance for me to make my big break. And well, maybe enough money to pay off my tab at Hibbs. He looks bashful. I had to let off some steam after my last gig. A lot of steam. A tremor rocks the tunnels. Andy's face grows ashen as he leans in. I have a theory. This city, it's rising. I mean, still rising. The shakes, the crumbling foundation, the fact that it was underwater before and now it isn't. You saw the ship graveyard in the city spires, right? Ships been gone missing in the stretch of the ocean for centuries. I don't know what's causing it, but I keep having these dreams. It's like heavily implied that we're in the Bermuda Triangle. I'm not sure if the Bermuda Triangle is actually called out, but that is that sort of like, again, triangle in the Atlantic, kind of the east of Central America. The Bermuda Triangle was a really big problem when I was a kid. I don't think it's a problem anymore, but that's where ships classically went to disappear. I believe that's where we are. And I think the Bermuda Triangle is rumored to have many lost cities, including Relia, which is kind of fun. The next day, you discover a vast cavern. The walls and ceilings are honeycombed with small round holes that branch off haphazardly into a labyrinthine warren. Andy rushes to the entrance of one particularly foul-smelling tunnel and picks up a bloody scrap of cloth. I don't know what lives here, but I think they like eating people. Further in, fleshy bilious growths line the tunnel, oozing a thick phlegmy ichor. Could anyone actually be left alive down here? So it says add 1 cultist token to the chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign. And if any investigator has walk the faith, which is not us, we have prove your worth. We have to resolve the respective story thing, and then we go straight to setup. So we're gonna add another cultist. I'll just put that there for a second. But I hate the West overall because I hate Andy. Shout out to Andy. Nobody likes Andy. One thing that's like not very clear, but they do mention it in this paragraph and also the beginning. We're in Relia for like 2 weeks. It's meant to take us 2 weeks to reach the whole, like from one side to the other side, which is a really long expedition. I don't know how we're carrying 2 weeks worth of food. That seems like nearly impossible. I don't think you can carry 2 weeks of food and water on you, especially because there's just 2 of us. But yeah, that like passage of time is kind of, it like gets brought up somewhat casually in these paragraphs, but it doesn't do a good job at making you feel like it's taking 2 weeks. Again, we've seen some other like long expeditions, like what's called Edge of the Earth, fantastic. And every night you actually go back to the camp and you talk to people and you develop your relationships. And I do think I really like that style a bit better. All right, this is the setup. Now, I've done a fair bit of it. In fact, we have this button to talk about what's in the encounter set. So there's a whole bunch of these encounter sets. Now, some of them will not start in the deck, but we have here the Apiary, which I think has so many different encounter cards. Now, these tenders and these eggs, these are things that we have to deal with before they kind of burst and add doom or start getting alive. I have the Deep Mimicry we've seen before, either free attacks. We played with Elder Mist a fair bit too. One of them cares about succeeding by 2, so we're going to get rid of it pretty cheaply. Now, the This is Capable is always following us, and it won't start in the deck right now, but it's a really big thing, and it can get summoned by losing an evade test. Pilgrims, very similar to cultists from the original core set or the cultists in the season 2 core set. And there's the cultists, which are actually now replacing the cultists from the original core set. We're meant to be playing with those cultists. Instead of Frozen in Fear, we have Torment, and Torment is one of my favorite sets from season 2. Langer is just such a cool card. So I actually really like these. I guess it's worth saying for the last 2 chapters we played, the last 2 scenarios, we didn't have to use any of the chapter 2 versus let alone chapter 1 encounter sets. So they're really easy to play. And while we've only seen one encounter set swap that I don't think has been perfect, this encounter set swap is like absolutely perfect. Frozen in Fear is a very good equivalent to Langer, and Cultists is a very good equivalent to the Dark Cult, like 1 for 1 basically. You're not going to experience something super differently. All right, so the apiary entrance is in play, beckoning light side face up. Each investigator begins there. We build the act deck using unsettling signs and lost pilgrims. Mind you, use the different ones if you go the other direction, and you see the other setup is a fair bit different, I guess. Then we said the mother enemy from the game. The mother, I don't believe, shows up when we go west, but when you go east, you definitely have to deal with mother. Set each of the following cards out of play, and there's a whole bunch of cards, including the Squamous Parasite, which is a card I actually brought up on stream last week because Squamous Parasite's name just lives rent-free in my brain. There's Maria Rivera, we'll find out who she is, an Ancient Relic, a Grizzly Mask, which is another relic of sorts, and the Inescapable and Pilgrims encounter sets, so those will be showing up at some point. Otherwise, we have to first pick an item asset or an artifact, and mind you, we have one more item. We can now bring the barrier node. It's an artifact, excuse me. So we're going to pick one of those. Technically, you're meant to do the setup after you mulligan. So in theory, we're meant to mulligan, draw our opening hand, and then we can decide which item we can draw. It's not going to make a very big difference. I think our artifact selections haven't been that interesting. I think they're way more interesting when you play more players because then like each person takes one of these. But if you're just one player, you generally take the best artifact. Obviously, that's the case. So we're probably going to end up taking the one that just says don't take damage. That one turns out pretty good. Otherwise, shuffle each of the encounter decks to build an encounter deck, and along with the following set aside apiary locations. So notably, there are 3 locations inside the encounter deck. We have Growing Fields and 2 copies of Fleshy Paths. So there are actually what's it called? Locations inside the encounter deck. And you'll notice all these locations have revelation, put these into play, and then extra text. So if we ever draw these as an encounter card, we just get a new location. And that's the only way to get locations. On top of that, it says after doing that, shuffle the set aside Luminous Tunnels location into the bottom 10 cards of the encounter deck. So that one's more important. That is one that's actually mechanically important. So this Luminous Tunnels is going to get shuffled into the bottom 10. Now I've already shuffled the encounter deck. I'm just going to shuffle it again because we're on camera. And that's mostly it really. Twice this week I'm spoiled. Hey, Christopher, me too. I'm really excited to be able to do this twice this week. It's been hard to get time to do anything, let alone 2 streams, let alone sometimes 1 stream. So glad you can make it. Hey, good day, Beepix. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. So I always get confused when it says shuffle into the bottom 10. I'm assuming that means it's in the bottom 11 at that point, not in the bottom 10 because it's 10 plus 1, right? It's a slight difference, but you will want to do math. I don't know if the rules say you can count how many cards are left in the counter deck. I don't know why you couldn't, but we will be tracking because the card that we need to get to is in the bottom 11 cards. And this is a big deck. Like, this is something I'm noticing for someone who hasn't played that much solo Arkham Horror is that you do not draw through most of the counter deck. Of course you don't. You only have like 12 turns, which means on average, we draw through this much of the deck. Now, luckily, this game or this scenario is going to give us ways to like mill through the deck to find locations faster. That's pretty common when it comes to like scenarios that make you find something in the counter deck. And usually there's a bit of a balancing mechanism, which if you are fewer players, it'll allow you to mill the deck more aggressively. So I guess we'll take the top 10. It doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll shuffle this into it and put this on the bottom. So again, in the bottom 11. We just have to make sure that we can't look in the counter deck and shuffle it because obviously it ruins the setup of the deck. Okay, that's mostly it. We'll just do our mulligan and our artifact and we're kind of good to go. Okay. That's that. That's this. Mind you, this is the tokens. As you can see, it's actually very similar to the season 2 core set. We have a +1, 2 zeros, 3 -1s, 2 -2s, -3, and -4. Now we have 2 skulls. We just added our second cultist. We have no tablets. Tablets is an East thing. And then we have 1 fish face and of course Elder Sign and Auto Fail. I think our bag on average should be about -2.5. So as long as we're a +2, we're in a pretty good spot. And we'll see what the symbols are on the encounter card to see if there's something worth playing around. Again, last week we didn't draw an auto fail and it was super weird. Like the chance of doing as many tests as we did and drawing no auto fails is very, 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 very low. On top of that, we just like didn't fail a lot of tests. I think we only failed like 2 encounter tests, or sorry, 2 skill tests the whole game. Okay, next part, we're gonna shuffle our deck. Otherwise, in terms of the upgrades we made to our deck, we just made 1 upgrade because we only got 3 XP. I don't know if we're going to find it super quickly, but the 1 card that we did change in is the card that allows us to leverage having good money. It is a card that we need to find. It's in the deck, right? It must be. Right? I counted this. This was 33 cards, so we must have missed it. I think last stream, we messed up playing Prestigitation in a pretty meaningful way. Oh, no, it's not in here. Huh. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, here it is. It's well connected. Oh my God, I was here the whole time. So this is the 1 card that we added. So now our money's going to matter. We've been floating a lot of resources. Like we ended the last scenario with like 17 resources, something like that. And while we do have a couple cards that care inherently about how much money we have, now this one also really cares about how much money we have. I do think this scenario in counter deck has a 1 or 2 willpower tests that make you discard an asset. That's always worth keeping in mind. So if we have a cheap asset we can put on the table just to like discard it when we inevitably fail a willpower test, then so be it. I guess the other thing we should know is, of course, we have Prove Your Worth. We're still on the front side of this. This is our task. It comes in with 4 chances. And whenever we fail a skill test by 2 or more, we have to remove a token from this. We want to be able to finish the scenario with having at least 1 token on this. So far, we've 2 for 2. So we're doing okay. I believe we need 5 progress in our journal to get something good to happen. So we're on a good track to do that because I think there's more than 3 scenarios. And you'll see, as we've been seeing in most of these setups, there's always 1 scenario for each task that asks you, like, if you have this task, you're given a choice. And sometimes that choice will help you progress or help you not progress your thing. Okay, technically we do our mulligan first before we choose our artifact. I'm just going to choose the artifact first because I don't think our mulligan's going to change it. Don't throw your cane away. Yeah, we probably shouldn't do that, especially because there's a parasite still in here. So these are our 5 options for our items and artifacts. So we've gone through a lot of these and not cared about them. Expedition gear lets you spend an action to heal 1 damage and allows you to move an enemy. Not something we care about. We're not going to take that. Similarly, Laudanum allows you to heal horror. And notably, we don't have infinite horror as much as we do have 8 horror and 2 horror in our assets. But we're not going to keep that. Now, diving suit, and you can tell, mind you, I've played this before, as much as I've last played this like maybe 6 to 8 months ago, so I don't have a perfect memory. There is no water in this scenario. That just means that diving suit is inherently like 3 soak with no slot, and that's not the worst thing in the world, but without water, we'll put this as a maybe. Now, it's not going to compare well to, well, I guess first we'll look at the Alien Tablet. Now, the Alien Tablet's a good card. It allows you to pass tests, and usually tests that we're not actually that good at, because this uses 4 secrets, and we can use it to get +2 skill value at a Glyph or Aurelia. How many Glyph or Aurelia challenges are in this? I don't know. Maybe if we were smarter, we could look at all the encounter sets that we shuffled in and see how many of those are overlapping. Generally, there will be glyphs. We put aside relics, stuff like that. Those are usually Glyph or Aurelia, so that's interesting. But I think we're probably just going to play Barrier Node. Now, we haven't fully translated this, but this is just a card that stays in play and allows us to take 1 damage a turn. Kind of sick, just really, really good. And again, we have no healing and we only have 6 health, and we have 2 Olivier Bishops and technically 1 Andy Van Norwick that has 1 and 2 health, kind of in the reverse order. So I think we're just gonna be boring and take the Barrier Node. Apologies if it is boring. It's kind of boring, but like 1 free damage every turn. What I appreciate about this, it actually allows us to like move a bit more when enemies are on us. We don't have that many payoffs of evading an enemy at the right or wrong place. I guess the best one we have is right under their noses. And while Olivier Bishop allows you to move clicklessly or actionlessly, if you can move an enemy, take an attack or opportunity, and then evade them at another location, sometimes you get good benefit from that. So that's cool. All right, we can mulligan. I did shuffle this. We shuffled this on camera, didn't we? Yeah, we did. I'll just shuffle and cut real quick. Okay. We are looking for our assets. Most important card here is going to be, again, either our Thieves Kit or our Lockpicks. I think I'd be happier with Lockpicks because, of course, our stats are good, but our stats don't do anything on their own. We need to get cards that allow us to use our Evade to progress the game forward. We definitely want 1 weapon. We have 2 Canes and 2 1903 Hammerlesses. And I also think, like always, we're going to mulligan heavily for Olivier Bishop. This scenario is very, very movement-based, and the West version, I think, is even more movement-based. So getting as many free moves as possible is just going to be ideal. This is a really big map eventually, so we'll mulligan for that. All right, watch this. Money matters, that's for sure. We don't need to keep this in our opening hand. It is functionally 3 free resources. We usually pass that test, but not the most important. Oh, I forgot how good this card is. We'll probably keep this. It's Lucky Cigarette Case. We do pass test by 2 for sure. We do. And then this would have been like 8 free card draw the last time we played this. Last time we played on camera. So we're gonna keep the Lucky Cigarette Case, I think, for sure. All right, Sudden Falls damage. Mind you, there's a whole bunch of 3 health enemies, a lot of egg stuff. So like this is okay, but I'd rather mulligan for an asset that we can play. Sticky Fingers. This is the asset that we play so we can discard it. But I think we won't keep this. I think we need to dig deeper because we can't do anything with our really bad stats. Again, we have like 3 book. Yeah, it's not good enough. And we have Emmanuel Dexterity, who I have been corrected that is definitely Winifred Habermuck. I'm very happy about that. I'm not convinced it looks exactly like her, but yeah, that would make sense. So not a good mulligan. On your games off camera, do you use dice 2 or tokens? It depends who I'm playing with. If I'm playing with, hold on, I can show you the tokens I use. If I'm playing here, I use my dice. If I'm like out of my friend's place and we generally like host one another every other week, I have a token set. I use blue Oni tokens. I have some nice orbits tokens. I use a mixture of things. I use like orbits Doom. I use blue Oni like resources and health and tracking. So it depends where I'm at actually. And sometimes I just use other stuff, whatever I feel like. But yeah, dice I use more than you'd expect because I just think dice are so clean and so easy and so like flexible. It's just that these dice don't transport well because they're absurdly big. But for instance, I guess you baited me. In my Arkham box, I always have like a tray of as many small dice as possible in different colors, all the colors you'd use. And then if I don't have any tokens, I just use these. Okay, we're going to mulligan 4. And we just got to find an asset that does something. Nope. I mean, not upset to have that because it means if an enemy shows up, we can deal with it. This is the level 3 version, or sorry, level 2 version, which is a lot better. Easy street. Ooh. So money, but well, a money payoff, not money. Breaking and entering so we can get a clue. Wait, if we don't draw lockpicks or something, we're in a really bad spot. Oh, that's bad. I don't think we've mulliganed this poorly so far. We have no way to use our evade stat to push the game forward. The well-connected is only good if we have money. We have no way of getting money. And the cigarette case is only as good as we can get clues and stuff like that. So it might fire here on this apiary entrance, but it's not very likely. I think this is actually a pretty bad spot. Any chance of playing a multiplayer game on streamers? Too much of a logistic nightmare. Well, it's tricky because playing in person multiplayer, I think it would be a possibility. The studio space can comfortably fit 2, not 4. So if I wanted to play with like a friend or my partner, we could do that. The issue is like I don't play a lot of standalone Arkham. We generally play campaigns, and then you have to like commit to doing a campaign with like 6 games in a row. Maybe you can just play through the new core set, and so that also is a bit tricky, but maybe possible. In terms of the overlay, we probably just will use real tokens and not worry about all the stat tracking and stuff like that to simplify it. But in terms of like I don't know webcam games or stuff like that, I don't know if people actually do that. Do they? They just play on TTS usually. But I think like in terms of solo play, I think two-handed play is much more interesting, that's for sure. But I haven't been minding solo. I thought I would like it a lot less than I actually am. Okay, let's look at what we have here. We're in a bad spot, but agenda. So this is Stirring in the Dark. There's 2 agendas. This one has 12 doom and it only has flavor text. You can hear the sound of slithering and gnashing teeth in the darkness. Something awful stirs in the bowels of Rillier. You would rather not stick around to find out what it actually is. And that's actually probably some of the most subdued art we've ever had on an agenda, as much as it is still relatively frightening. Oh, a lot more text here on the act, unsettling signs. We don't know who that character is, but it does look like the apiary. The bees are making some sort of honey. The fleshy tunnels excrete a foul, waxy substance that burns the skin. Your destination lies deeper within the disgusting labyrinth. As an action, spend 1 or more clues as a group. And for each clue spent, discard the top 5 cards or the top 10 cards if there's 1 investigator from the counter deck. Draw each location discarded by that effect. That is a really powerful effect. Technically, it's 1 or more clues. So you're better off always like discarding 2 clues at once or 3 clues at once, depending on, again, I think you can tell how many cards are in the counter deck because it's the same amount of clues, it's just less actions overall. So that's cool. Now, objective. If each surviving investigator is at a sanctum location, investigators may spend the requisite 2 clues as a group to advance. And says, hint, you may not be able to explore further after you advance. So we can choose to be at a sanctum. Mind you, there's no sanctums in play, of course, and have 2 clues to may advance. And it's not at the end of the round whenever you want. But after that, it looks like things are going to change a fair bit. So we have to watch out. In terms of the tokens, the apiary skull is -X. X is half the amount of doom on enemies and assets in play rounded down to a max of 4. That's really frightening text. Looks like we're going to be putting doom into play. But enemy and assets in play, specifically not the act and the agenda, right? Doom of enemy and assets in play. On enemies and assets in play, yeah, so it doesn't care about the agenda itself. So this might be 0 if we can control Doom. Now, this is a really big thing is that enemies can spawn, and there's a lot of aloof enemies, which we're not good at dealing with, because it's hard to 1903 hammerless or like evade an aloof enemy and still fight them. But there are a bunch of aloof enemies, and they'll get Doom, and you have to deal with them, both cultists and like apiary eggs and stuff. We now have 2 cultists, -1, and if there's a cultist enemy at your location, which there are, I believe, 4 in the deck right now, you also have to reveal another token, which will make it much harder to succeed by 2. We have no tablets, but the fish face, we have 1. It's -4. If you fail, take 1 damage or 1 horror. With the barrier node, that's less punishing, but that is just 1 more -4. I think the newer campaigns are much more solo friendly. I don't know how Carcosa, Circle, and Dun would go true solo. Carcosa, yeah, I think like the, what's it called? The hidden cards kind of fall apart when you play true solo. But like, obviously, I'm way more excited about longer campaigns than shorter campaigns, but you know, the new upcoming shorter campaigns might be better for content's sake, which is not a thing I thought I would say like a couple months ago. All right, we're gonna start here at the apiary entrance. This is the beckoning light side. So one shroud is nice and one clue. As an action, you can spend a clue as a group to shuffle each location in the counter discard pile into the bottom 10 cards in the counter deck. I'm not sure how they would get there, but that's a nice button to be able to put them back if you do lose some. And currently there's, again, 4 locations in the counter deck. One of them is in the bottom 11. The other 3, we don't know where they are. It can be anywhere, including the bottom 11. As a fast action, you can choose the furthest location from the apiary entrance and place clues on the location up to its clue value, which currently includes the apiary entrance, limit once per round. So we can never run out of clues, at least once per round. We can also just resign. So if we want to do any percent speed run, like we're going to have a good green number there in the top right corner. And that's it. Honestly, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. Our stats here on our book is 3-1, so we can probably get a clue. Just so we're on the same page, if you're just tuning in halfway through the campaign for some reason, André Patel wants to succeed by 2 or more on his turn to get another action. Last game, we did this on every single turn beside our first turn. This might be the same case, but of course, if we don't draw our lock picks, that's going to suck because that's one of the easiest ways to succeed by a big amount. Because again, this adds our 2 stats together, and 8-1, you generally succeed by 2, of course. So, yeah, I don't feel good about this. We have no way of getting money. We have ways of wanting money, and we have our Lucky Cigarettes case. I think we're just going to start with the first action to play the Lucky Cigarette case. It's going to take us 2 resources and an action, and then we're just going to investigate. So we're going to investigate 3-1 and hope for the best. We could maybe succeed by 2, which would be a massive, because not only do we get a card draw, but we get a clue, and we want to be able to fire this ability at least once more. I'm not going to spend an action to mill 10 off the deck. I'm going to spend an action to mill 20 off the deck by spending 2 clues. 3-1. There's no bad thing if we fail here. The worst we can take a damage. 0. All right, we're off to a good start. So we succeed by 2. That's the best we could ask for. So we get this clue. We get an action back, so we still have 2 more, and then we can fire the Lucky Cigarettes case, and oh my god, do we need draw. So we're going to exhaust the draw. We're back in business. Oh, it's nice when it comes together just like that. Oh, that's awesome. I could not have scripted that better. Oh, we felt bad for a moment. Okay, so we don't want to discard cards right now. We're going to wait until we have 2 clues, and we can do that. So we're going to fire the apiary entrance text fast, and we're going to put 1 clue on this because it says choose the furthest location and refill it with clues. So fast, once per round. We still have 2 actions. If we play the lockpicks, we go down to 0 credits, 0 resources. That's not the best place to be. Generally, we want to be at least on like 3 credits because if we draw watch this, we're in a good spot. But we have equally the same amount of out the doors, which is like a really nice get out of jail button. It just says gain 4 resources. I'll still play it. We'll play it for 3. It's nice to use this every turn because it does exhaust. So lockpicks comes in for all our money. It has 3 picks on it. I think they're supplies. Again, I've never lost one of this to breaking all the supplies, and I've never seen anyone try and refill these. But as a last action, because we did 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to investigate using our book plus our evade, so it's 8-1. Seems nice. 0 again. We'll get this last clue. All right. Pretty good start. The next thing we want is Olivier. We should be off to the races. So upkeep, card and credit. Imagine we drew Olivier there. We drew Know the Line. I still can't remember which one is which. Know the Line is about, it's not the parlay one because there's not a parlay one. You think this would be parlay, but this is on the scenario card, which at least that's super flexible because mind you, a scenario card doesn't have to be a card from the scenario. It just has to be basically like any encounter card, a card that belongs to the enemies. So it does work off of any card we draw from there, which is good. All right, we're only at 1 resource. Doom. We're at 1 of 12, so it's going to be a minute. We draw 1 encounter card. Technically, we can do the fast ability on the apiary entrance here, but it doesn't really change anything. Torment. Okay, so this is Peril. We have some choices here. So Peril, don't help me out. Willpower 3. If you fail, name a card type, asset, event, or skill. Each investigator discards 1 card of the name type from their hand. This card's obviously a lot more interesting in multiplayer. Now we have asset, event, skill. I think we're going to go for skill. Now, these are really good skills. I guess we might as well just know the line this because we don't want to fail by 2. And this puts us at 5-3, which has a chance that we'll pass. The bag has 1, 2, 3, 4 tokens we fail at about 17. So I think it's actually worth playing this because if we fail, we discard it anyways. So we'll know the line here just so we don't fail by 2. And maybe this fires cigarettes. So yeah, seems good. Torment. I believe this is Daniela, right? All the art from this just shows like different women from Arkham getting absolutely horribly messed up. So this is going to be 5-3. -2. Pass. Perfectly. No succeed by 2. That's all we got. Okay. So that's us. Fast action. We'll just go and put this here because we can. So we've done that once per turn. Now we have to decide because, again, if we want to do the act, we can spend any amount of clues. So I just want to check because this will allow us to spend 2 clues as an action to mill 30 cards from the deck. Now, we want to get the card at the bottom to advance, but there's 2 cards in the way. And maybe it's better to like get those sooner and go to them and like try and empty those out. Again, we want to use our lockpicks. Technically, it's ready, excuse me. And using a lockpicks on one shroud feels a bit bad. I'm just going to count how many cards in the deck. Oh, well, that's not easy to fix, but I think I'm pretty sure this is on top of that. So our thing is probably still in the bottom. We just have to remember not to shuffle this because it messes up everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, good television. 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 20 cards, which is guaranteed to find not the last one. If we do 30 cards as a single action, we're not guaranteed to find the last one, but we'll see a lot of the deck. I honestly think I'm okay spending an action and 2 clues to do 20 because we probably put 2 locations into play and that gives us something to do. And all we want here is something to do. So I think we're going to do that. It might be better just to get this clue, but like I do think we want to explore the other locations because they probably have victory and stuff like that. At least it wasn't coffee. I mean, let me just drink this quickly before anything worse happens. I've never done that on this channel. Yeah, let's spend it. We'll spend 2 clues. So now we just discard the top 20. Technically, I'm not sure if you discard them one at a time. I'm assuming you do. But in some of these cards, I believe these cards enter play, right? Discard the top 10 cards of the counter deck and draw each location. Yeah, okay. Discard this way. I mean, I don't know if you're meant to do these simultaneously or not. Okay, so we're just going to start discarding cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I think we're meant to do that. This is 7. Fleshy paths. We're going to need a lot of connections. This is going to be a really big map, by the way. So 7. This is fleshy paths. Comes in with 1 clue. This has a moon, so it's attached. Arkham cards are jealous of Marvel cards. We demand to get coffee. So this is connected 2 ways. Fleshy paths, revelation, put it into play. It says in an action, test 2 book to search the flesh-like walls. If you succeed, put the set aside ancient relic, and that symbol, mind you, is the symbol of the constructs, the like mechanical encounter set, into play under your control. Okay, so there's 3 more encounters or locations in the deck. 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll just clean that up, and we'll do 10 more. 1. So I think all the zealots are out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another fleshy paths. I guess we'll resolve that. So how are they differently named? This is the Western Boroughs, so I'm going to put it on the West. This one is Victory. It's also only attached like this. It says put into play. You could just spend an action? Spend an action to discover this glyph. Victory 1 clue. I mean, I feel like we're going to do that. Okay. That was 8, I'm pretty sure. 9, 10. Okay. So technically we should look at this deck to see what we got rid of. The cards that I really do care about is Alien Eggs just adds doom to an enemy. And so like the Loof enemies gets worse. I think there's 1 in here. And then the other one are the eggs themselves. The Apiary tenders are really annoying. So we have 1 Apiary tender, 2 Alien Eggs is out. Use that information how you will. There's still 2 locations in the deck. One of them is unique or more unique than this, and then we'll see what the other 2 are. This is what I mean. This scenario is so movement heavy that like drawing Olivier Bishop in your opening hand is incredibly important. All right, second action, we're just going to slide over to this Fleshy Paths. And third action, assuming we're going to get the action back, is we're going to use our lockpick. So we're going to investigate this place using our book plus our evade. So we're at 8 to 2. We want to succeed by 2 to get an action back. Let one draw a card. Elder Sign, I think that's just some, cultist, I think that's just a -1. There's a cultist enemy at your location. So we succeed, we get the clue, which means we get the victory, for at least for now. So we have 1 clue, we get an action back, and we can draw with our cigarettes. Give us Olivier. Out the door, that's actually perfect. Out the door is just such a good card to get us back in the money, which we want to be in the money. Out the door is 4 resources attached to evade and a book, or evade and a wild. Notably, we can't commit it to lockpicks because lockpicks is like strictly, it is a book text. Or you actually can, you just don't get both icons, excuse me. All right, we have one more action. I think we're just going to do the text on Fleshy Paths so we can get out of here. So we're just going to do an action. You discover the glyph. In your campaign log, record time under this glyph. And this glyph kind of looks like a carabiner. A lot of them actually look like a carabiner, but we'll get that. So glyph, translate, time. All right, that's up there. So it looks like we're dealing with that row. We do know we missed 3 on the bottom row. All the ones between Parasite and City, and the one on the left of Parasite. I think the one on the furthest left on the bottom row is in this scenario, and we'll see if those actually matter for any of the relics, because I think we've already biffed translating the barrier node. Oh, excuse me. Okay, that's our whole turn. We did clues, move, clue, thing. Good. Card and credit. It's not Olivier Bishop. It's a Thieves Kit. I mean, this card is not better than lockpicks, but it is efficient. It gives you money too, which is nice. All right, yeah, we definitely need Olivier. There's so much movement too. That is something in Arkham Horror that playing solo, movement is just a pain point. They have actually recommended on Reddit to be like, hey, if you're playing solo and you're struggling with movement, there is this like modifier you can play, which says like every investigator gets 1 free movement action. And this is definitely one of those scenarios where it really does hurt. If you can't move alone on solo, or have a relic that helps you move, or have Olivier Bishop, you do feel it for sure. Okay, that's it. Upkeep. We've done Doom. We draw. Eye of the Deep. Okay, this is a thing that we'll just have. We had one of these in the last scenario. It's a fair bit worse than this scenario though, because Eye of the Deep, we can do a willpower test of 3 to get rid of it, which is very difficult. But now we have to treat every cultist as a fish face, and that's actually a pretty big downgrade, because the cultist is only -1, but the fish face is -4, and also if you fail, take a damage or horror. When we want to succeed by 2, obviously -4 is worse than -1. It doesn't draw another token, so it might be better, and the damage shouldn't be super meaningful. But this is a card that we're going to struggle to get rid of because the willpower test is hard. Yay, Water Lily Joy! I managed to catch a live stream. Hello, how's it going? Do you play Arkham? Welcome to the channel. Water Lily Joy does a lot of the art stuff on Netrunner. She's really good at her job. All right, so in terms of cards left in the deck, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we spend 1 clue, we can rip 10 of this, and unless this is exactly one of the 2 locations, we're in a good spot. And then we probably want to spend clues for a minute. That is something we can do at any location. So it's not something we have to do like in the center there, which is a central location. This does have a central location, but we just have to spend 1 clue to rip 10. Maybe we do that now. Otherwise, we want to go to this Fleshy Paths. Like, we're not in a rush to go there, but the Eastern Boroughs has a way to get a relic. We have to pass the 2 book tests, which we're not amazing at doing that. So it's a bit of work. I don't know. I've kind of given up on the relics, I'll be honest. But like, this place will probably be there later, won't it? I played all the old content except for the Drowned City. Oh, well, I don't know if this is spoilers or not, but this is very much the Drowned City. I think, you've played a lot of it, so you know the stuff that you probably like. What's your favorite scenario or favorite campaign? Excuse me. Drowned City, I think, is like, it's okay. It's not my favorite. It's okay though. Okay, so we want to fire lockpicks, that's for sure. I think we're just going to spend a clue, or because then we can at least do move in here lockpicks, and then we can see if anything grows from that. Notably, this doesn't have anything else attached to it, so everything's going to be seemingly attached to the Apiary entrance. So we just need to keep moving. So I think we're going to spend the clues, shuffle, get the action, and then see what we can do. So it's our first action. We're going to use the act. We're going to spend a clue. We're going to rip 10 off the top of the deck. Let's see. Tender, Langer, Invocation, Egg, Langer. Okay. Growing Fields. Okay, that's... Wait, I stopped counting at some point. I just started saying names of things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is not the one that we're looking for, I don't think. Let's see what the text is about. I think this is one of the ones that was randomly shuffled into the deck. So put Growing Fields into play along with the set aside Hidden Vault, and that is the last symbol that we're looking for. 3 Shroud, 1 Clue. As an action, test 8 willpower. Double the skill icons for each card committed to this test. If you succeed, take control of the Grizzly Mask. Now, notably, that's going to be a problem because we've spent our Know the Line, which would add 6 wilds. The best thing we can possibly add to this is Easy Street, because Easy Street will give us a lot of icons as long as we have a lot of money. But also, we're going to have to put the Hidden Vault in play. So this is also attached to 2 things. I'm assuming it's attached to this and the Hidden Vault. It's going to be hard to get all this in screen. This is going to be the biggest scenario we've played so far. So we'll see if this makes sense. Hidden Vault. Hidden Vault. Corrupted Vault? No. Hidden Vault. Hold up. We'll have to answer in a bit. Yeah, no worries. Take your time. So we also have the hidden vault, which is, I believe, one-way connected. This is, I think it's this. Yeah. 3 shroud, 1 clue, victory 1. So we do want to go to it. After hidden vault enters play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for an enemy and spawn at this location. Oh. Okay. That's our choice. So I guess we're going to go there for a couple reasons. Firstly, the enemies have left to their own accord. We'll just spawn doom, so that's a problem. After you successfully evade an enemy at hidden vault by 2 or more, flip this card and resolve its text. That we're there for. So we definitely need to go down there. We now have to spawn an enemy, and we want an enemy that's easy to evade. A lot of the enemies are aloof. I'm not sure if we're meant to finish discarding all the cards before we make this decision, because in theory we could search this. That's a weird thing, because you can search this and shuffle the deck, and then the ordering gets like all messed up. Yeah, that's really strange to have a shuffle, like search deck function in a scenario where the bottom 10 are set up, right? Anyways, search encounter deck and discard pile. I'm just going to search the deck. And we want something that's easy to evade. The Apiary tenders are, really annoying. When Doom is placed on the card, yeah, these things are really hard and they're aloof. I think the best thing would probably be the Zealot. The Zealot is the easiest to evade. We no longer have the Cultist, which makes it harder to deal with. We definitely want to do 1 damage, and this is going to add 1 Doom, but we have so much time on the Doom clock, knock on wood. But the Zealot has 1 health that's aloof, and it enters play with a Doom on it. I think that's probably our best choice. Apologies at this point, I don't have a better Doom die than the purple die, so it's going to have 1 health, 1 Doom. But we have to go to it, we have to engage it, and we have to fight it. Fighting it's going to be tricky. I think we want Arcane by then. Hopefully we can find it. That was 8. I believe we've resolved everything. 9, 10. Was that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the card we were looking for. I think I counted wrong. Apparently there was 12 cards in the deck, but it was in the bottom 3. Luckily we did find it. It's the Luminous Tunnels. This one is the one that we were looking for. It's put into the bottom. So Luminous Tunnels. Okay, 2 shroud, 2 clues. It's attached to the green circle, the apiary entrance. So we'll just put it closer to us. What does it say? Put Luminous Tunnels into play. Okay. Shuffle the set aside Pilgrim's Encounter set into the counter deck along with the counter discard pile. So we just reset the entire deck, which is fine because there's only 2 cards left. And we've added the Pilgrims. They are very similar to the Zealot. We have 3 of these Pilgrim Acolytes. So it says after they attack, place a Doom on them. They're 2/2/2. And then we've added the Pilgrim Leader, which is a 3/3/3 that also is aloof. That's it, right? Okay, so it says shuffle set aside Pilgrims into the counter deck along with the discard pile. Find the set aside Spawning Grounds and Corrupted Vault. Hold on, let's separate these Pilgrims because I'm going to shuffle them all together. Find the set aside Spawning Grounds and Corrupted Vault and shuffle them into the bottom 10, so they'll be in the bottom 12. As an action, you can take a damage to place clues on the location furthest from the apiary entrance to its clue value. So we can't run out of clues. As an action, taking a damage is fine because our barrier node does refill it. But I do think we want to go all the way up there. Again, this is going to get a very crowded map. Man, we want Olivier Bishop like 2 turns ago. Okay, so we need to get Spawning Grounds and Corrupted Vault. Let me just shuffle this and then we'll take 10 cards randomly. A lot of the art in this campaign makes me think of the Alien movie. Yeah, this scenario does a really good job of making you worried about these sort of like stowaways, the eggs, them hatching, very Alien themed. If you want more of that theme, there is the, I forget the name of it. Someone probably knows, but there's this really good community made campaign that's like technically science fiction. And it does have this sort of like infection. I think Infected is also a card that shows up in this and in that. It does a really good job making you feel that alien way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these go on the bottom, right? Yeah, so we have to get Spawning Grounds and Corrupted Vault with the claw. Corrupted Vault, Spawning Grounds. Yeah, Dark Matter, Lucas, that's it. I played Dark Matter just last year. I thought it was really good. And it like came out a long time ago. Like it's technically an older design, but it was really, really charming. Okay, so we're still looking for Olivier, and we're still looking for a way to do damage because we have some stuff to deal with. We have 2 actions, so we're probably just going to do move, and then we're going to do our, what's it called? Our lockpicks. If we want to refill things, we have to watch out because the apiary entrance. Specifically, the apiary entrance says choose the furthest location from apiary entrance, place clues on the chosen location. So we can't refill it because it's no longer the furthest, of course. It's really cool to play after Carcosa. Yeah, it has a Carcosa tie-in, a very strong Carcosa tie-in. All right, that was all our setup we had to do. Now, what we're trying to do, we don't know. We're assuming we want to find one of them, if not both of those locations in the bottom 10 of the deck again. And of course, we can spend a clue to discard cards off the top of the deck. Also, all the counting we've done on the deck doesn't matter. Second, we'll move into the apiary entrance. Third, we'll do the lockpicks. So we're at 8-1, trying to succeed by 2. I don't think we'll do out the door on this. Yeah, probably not. Oh, that's bad. I forgot we were fallible. I forgot we were mere mortals. That's the auto fail. So a couple things happen. Firstly, we don't get an action back. We lost an action. We lost a card draw. We lost a lockpick. Damn, that feels so bad. Also, prove your worth. Oh, no, not prove your worth. Funny enough, not prove your worth. Because if prove your worth cares about failing by 2, and this place has a 1 shroud. When you auto fail, you technically get a 0. Like your stat hits 0. So we only failed by 1, which is kind of fun. But yeah, that sucks. We lost an action. We lost a clue. Pretty expensive. That's it. Card and credit. This thing doesn't move. The Zealot just kind of sits there menacingly. We have to deal with it. We get our upkeep. All right, under their noses is probably worth playing at some point. And we're at 4 of 12. Zealot. We're not good at this. After this enemy enters play, place 1 Doom on it. Sucks. We're really bad at aloof. Because if you evade the aloof, you have to engage it again. How do we do 1 damage to this thing? Our fight stat is bad. If we don't draw Arcane, we're in a bad spot. Such as rogue problems, like mystic problems. You don't draw your spells, you don't do anything. I don't want to do a sudden fall on this thing, hopefully for obvious reasons. So the only way we can boost our raw fight skill is, well, it's a sudden fall or doing an easy street. We definitely need to knock this thing out. There's cards that add more doom to cultists, let alone cards that just add doom to enemies. So we're not in a good spot. Well connected would be the obvious way. If we play this though, we have very little money. And then we can get ourselves up to a 3 fight stat, which we're still against the Zealot. It's only 3-2 if we can let it fire. So like maybe we have to do an out the door. We can definitely start by doing what's it called? The lockpicks on the apiary entrance. At a minimum, it should guarantee a card draw. It should guarantee an extra action back guarantee. Still need to play through scenario 2 of the chapter 2 box. I'm really into the game, but easily overwhelmed while learning. Oh, chapter 2 is definitely like, scenario 2 of chapter 2 box is a big step up in terms of complexity, but it's also way more open-ended. And that's both can be intimidating, but it's a lot of fun. You just kind of set off on the town and then you have to follow your own leads. It's really good. I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of people's, I think it's every person's favorite scenario in that box, let alone it's very close to the original core set where it had this exact same structure where it was like learn to play scenario, open town, and then finale. And I think everyone loves open town very, very much. But take your time. You don't need to play in 1 sitting if you can leave it out. If you don't have a cat or a kid or something. Okay. Overwhelmed. We have enough time to maybe come back to the Zealot and knock the original Zealot out, but I do think we want to go to the Hidden Vault. In theory, all we need here is clues, and the only thing we're going to fail to is hubris. Because this is the big issue, is like without Olivier, getting to this Hidden Vault is like a whole turn. Like we have to do move. It's not cheap to get to this Hidden Vault. Also, this Hidden Vault itself, this is this one. It says if you successfully evade an enemy at Hidden Vault by 2 or more. And this is something that's been coming up a lot, and hopefully you're aware of this because I wasn't when we started this campaign. Cards like breaking and entering that automatically evade. Not, of course, also on top of that, we're not evading by 2, but cards that say successfully evade do not fire off of automatically evade. So yeah, we have to actually evade the Zealot the old fashioned way. All right, I think we're just gonna start with the lockpicks. Once again, we're 8-1. Do have cat, but have vaulted gaming table, so I keep game set up. Excellent. It's a lot cheaper than vaulting the cat. And the cat gets upset. Don't recommend. -1, so we get the clue. We get an action, and we get a card draw. Hey, speak his name and he will arrive as Olivier Bishop. That's perfect. Okay, so this is what we needed. However, we don't have the resources to play it. So maybe we should just be playing out the door like on tempo. I think that's something I've been struggling with, is trying to figure out when I should be playing out the door. Oh my God, there's so many cards that start with the word out. But yeah, we haven't been playing out the door on tempo, and I think we want money now. Now we can commit out of the door to an evade test. So we could technically engage this thing and evade it, but there's no point to it. It doesn't do anything. Yeah, we definitely should have committed this to something on tempo, but what do we have on tempo? If we spend a resource to play Olivier Bishop just to move, it's not actually good. We're also at hand size, so we're gonna be drawing another card. So we're like very incentivized in our next 3 actions to like play one of these cards. Problems if we play well connected, we're further away from playing Olivier, so it's probably Olivier. But the best thing here would be, again, play out the door, and we have the better one, mind you. It gives 4 resources, which is an absurd amount of resources. But we want to be able to play it on a test that actually is relevant. And our lockpicks are exhausted. Maybe this is Thieves Kit Gaming? I could see this being Thieves Kit Gaming, because Thieves Kit actually allows us to use our foot. Notably, I have the Thieves Kit art from the original season, so the formatting is slightly different, but it does the same thing. So I could see us going second into the Growing Fields. Third, we drop the Thieves Kit. Fourth, we use the Thieves Kit without the door, and then ideally gain 5 resources, as much as we spend 3 on the Thieves Kit. It fills up our other hand slot, which is okay, because if we draw Prestidigitation, we have an item to swap, but it probably is nice to have one of each. I think we're going to do that. So second action, Thieves Kit, other hand. So this costs us 3. It has 6 counters on it, and you can use 1 to investigate. There is, in a bigger card pool, a better Thieves Kit, an upgraded Thieves Kit. I think it's 1 or 2 experience, probably 2 experience. And it gives you +1. I think that's the only difference. I might be wrong about that. I think the flavor text is different. All right, we have to really pass this, because otherwise we are bottomed out really, really, really bad. So this is out the door. We're going to now, second action or third action, we're going to go to the Growing Fields. It has 3 Shroud. And then fourth action, we're going to do out the door, and we're going to use the Thieves Kit. So we're going to spend a charge. We're using our book. We're using out the door, so we're at 7. We're at 7 to 3. We gain 4 resources, and we hope to keep them. That looked like the auto fail for a moment. That's the skull. Skull is 2. Actually, I forgot. The skull actually does matter about keeping Doom in play. X is, sorry, it's only 1. Half the amount of Doom on enemies and assets in play. So there's 2 enemies, so it's -1, we succeed. So we keep our 4 resources. We actually gain another resource, and we gain a clue. All right, that's us. Olivier will come down next turn, which really helps. We'll pass. None of these enemies move. Card and credit. Another easy street. That's good. We can spend our money on that. Easy street. We should have, well, we're going to go down on credits. So we need another credit card here. Credit card. We're half there. 6 of 12. 1 counter card. Corrosive Fog. This is a bad one. I think this makes you discard things, and we're not good at passing this. Test 4 book or 4 combat. If you fail, take 1 damage. That's fine. If you fail by 3 or more, instead deal 1 direct damage to your investigator and each ally and item asset you control with health. Oh, actually, that's not that bad. This can either do 1 or 2 damage. Or sorry, it can do 0 or 1 damage, because it has to do 1 to our barrier node and maybe does 1 to our face. The bigger problem with this is we don't want to fail by 2, because we never do, but it's actually not that bad. Okay, so I don't think we're going to boost into this. Our book is better than our fight by 1, so we're going to use our book test. We're just going to do 3 to 4 and hope we don't fail by 2. Or by 3, technically. But 1 does cover the other. Yeah, we're not boosting this. 3 to 4. -2. So 1 to 4, so we failed by 3. So firstly, we lose a Prove Your Worth charge. So that's not good. This is a longer scenario. So we have to, if you fail by 3 or more, instead deal 1 damage to your investigator in each asset. So we take 1, and the node takes 1. Now when the barrier node starts its turn, it does just heal it back up. So we just took 1 damage and failed by 2. Could be worse. Okay, it's us. If we want to play down Olivier Bishop, we get a free move, so we spend an action now. I think we're just going to do it. There's no other way for us to get money. We have a money payoff card, but what can we do about that? We have to watch out. There's 1 more of this Corrosive Fogs, and they will eventually kill Olivier. So we're going to slide our hands over, I guess. For Olivier. This card is just one of the best cards in the new core set. Oh my god, is Olivier Bishop above curve? I don't know, level 0 rogue allies were still good. Like Leo DeLuca was expensive, but he was a good card. But having a stat boost and a free move on a rogue card, they did go out of the way to say specifically that they are going to make rogues more about movement. And yeah, Olivier Bishop is just buck wild. I think he might be the best level 0 card in the whole box. All right, so we're down to 2 resources. Not much to do here. We'll fast travel to the Hidden Vault. If we want to read the back of Hidden Vault, we have to evade an enemy. So we still have 2 actions. If we get the clue off the Hidden Vault, we'll have 2 more actions. So we can get the clue with the Lucky Cigarette Case. I think we'd rather do that than the Thieves Kit, because it's guaranteeing our plus by 2. And then we can still just engage Evade the Zealot, which is not amazing. Especially very good at True Solo. Yo, Jupe, how's it going? It's amazing at True Solo. As we mentioned, like movement in True Solo is so rough. And this just helps. It's also nice with evasion, because it allows you to move while an enemy's on you, which is like a really fun thing, even in multiplayer, to get the enemy to the right place at the right time. We could right under their noses. It doesn't do anything because evading a aloof enemy is kind of a waste of time, and we don't actually get any trigger off of this. So let's go do it. This is second action. Yeah, second action. Lockpicks. So now we're adding our boosted stat because we do get +1 foot. So we're at 9 to 3. I almost lost the keyboard. This is -4. Still good. This is -4 because our Eye of the Deep just says that we have to treat that thing like it's a fish face. Yeah. So it's a fish face. The fish face here is -4. So we get 5 to 3. We still succeed by 2. So we get to get an action back. We get to draw a card. It's our last sudden fall, the better one, and we get a clue. Okay. So we're at 7 cards. That's fine. So we did play Ollie, fast move, do a clue. We have 2 more. Next, we'll engage the Zealot. We have no easy damage in our hand. Like, best case would be a cane, as much as we do play our Thieves Kit to take our second hand up. But yeah, we have no easy way to do 1 damage. But the bigger thing here is with the Hidden Vault, we just want to do like an evasion test, even though it's not efficient. So if you succeed, invade by 2 or more. Currently we're 6 to 2, so it's not guaranteed. It's actually really funny how bad it would be if we evaded by less than 2 and more. With that in mind, I'm not going to pitch any of these cards because they're really quite good. So we'll go from there. If you match the test 1 to 1, 2 to 2, is that still a pass? You pass on equal. Yeah. If you, all you have to do is pass or be above. There was a basic weakness many, many moons ago that just says, while this is in play, you fail ties and everyone at your location fails ties, but you pass ties. Which is actually why it's really good in this game. If you can ever lower the difficulty of a test, if you ever make a test difficulty 0, you functionally can't fail. Because the only thing autofail does is sets you to 0. I think I'm right about that. I think you still pass on autofail if the test is 0 difficulty. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But yeah, if you like say that your skill is 1 and the test is 0 and you pull -4, your 1 gets crunched on 0, so you still pass because 0 beats 0 because you tie. All right, 6 to 2. -1 on the skull. That's perfect. We succeed by 2. So evading this does nothing, but we got to read the back of the Hidden Vault. All right, if you succeed by 2 more, flip this card, resolve this text. Ooh, text. Autofail still fills with a diff of 0? Okay, that makes sense. It's still a failure. But yeah, if you draw a big negative number, you will pass because you can't, your stat never goes below 0. You find an alien panel hidden behind a fold of fleshy wall. Grimacing, you press it and reveal a round alcove untouched by the alien growths. Sharp glowing symbols connected by curling lines appear on a black slate in the center of the alcove. After some study, you recognize it as some kind of ancestral tree. There are hundreds upon hundreds of names. How many creatures lived in this city eons ago? You discover this glyph. It means daughters. Flip this card back over. It cannot be flipped again. So this place has victory, which is nice that we got it. But we have now translated another glyph. Glyphs. Translate daughters. It's daughters. Okay. So that bottom row is cooked. We've done the best we can. We got 50%. Every other row we're going to nail. But that's nice that we got that. You can still use cards like Look What I Found if your location shroud is 2 or lower. Yeah, that one works. Because again, if you decrease the difficulty, Look What I Found is such a good card, especially when you have synergy from failing. Oh my God, this card got so much better over time. This was in the original core set back in 2016. Okay, that's our whole turn. This thing wakes up. It's not on us because it's still aloof. Card and credit. Mind you, I say card and credit. It's a Netrunner thing. I can never say card and resource. It just feels so weird. That's really good. That's what we want. This is a way to get our money fast. Watch this gives us 3 resources. We never fail that test. 7 of 12. We really need to defeat this thing. And I don't have a good way of doing it. It probably is like do a watch this test. Oh, I have no idea how we're meant to do 1 damage. I might have to sudden fall this thing. Langer. Okay, so it's no longer in our control. This card is so cool. It's my favorite encounter card from all of season 2. It's hard to deal with in solo because it is one of these 2 action ones, but the text is just like so fun. So put Langer into play in your threat area, limit 1 per investigator. After your turn begins, which is right now, discard the top card of your deck. If it's a weakness, draw it. I honestly don't mind that. It's a free card draw. But if you cannot, whatever type of card it is, you can no longer play or commit cards of that type. Asset, event, or skill for this round. 2 actions to discard this. Good luck. Okay, we can no longer play or commit events, and we lost our second copy right under their noses. Again, Langer is a card that you do want to get rid of. I don't know when. That means we can't do the Sudden Fall this turn, which we were like on the cusp of considering. But if we want to deal with the Zealot, we just have to like get our fight stat up. And that's not really easy to do. If we do watch this, like you actually lose money on the test, but we could technically like easy street and get our like resources up. It's just we need to get our resources up first. Notably, you can do watch this, or like you technically can just use your lockpicks on a location to investigate that has no clues, just because you're pretty guaranteed to get a watch this to fire. So it's kind of like an action for 3. Feels bad, but like we have to defeat the enemy here before we leave because it's like so far away from everything else. That's why I like Daryl using his camera to lower test. Yeah, Daryl had that sort of archetype of like lower test to 0. It was busted, like straight busted. It got a lot of cards tabooed and errated. Friend says card and crate. I've never heard of that. Yeah, that makes sense too. Okay. Yeah, we're really struggling to be able to do damage. And not only can we not play these cards, these cards have good icons, and we probably would have just committed them, but we can no longer commit this card. I think if we get rid of Langer, it still has active text, right? So if we discard Langer, does his text still linger? I think it does. So the only thing we could possibly do is like watch this get money up easy street. Easy street at this point is just what's it called? Unexpected courage. It puts us up to 4 fight, but 4 to 2. Especially when the deck has the bag has, I think, 3 -4s. That's not guaranteed. Cool thing with this thing is if we engage it and it just hits us, like it hits us for 1, which doesn't matter. So like if we mess it up, we'll just start leaving with it and we'll work on it next turn. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to play watch this on the attack because it's not guaranteed. And with watch this, you have to at least succeed by 1, which is not a great spot to be in. So the question is, can we get money fast? How do we watch this fast? We'd have to do lockpicks. It actually might be right? Like we have to plan our turn out. It might be right to do lockpicks, commit a watch this. Oh no, lockpicks is a book text. We can't do it. We'd have to do Thieves Kit. We could do Thieves Kit with watch this and hope that we succeed by enough to not only get an action back, but to get the 3 resources and also get the lucky cigarette case. Because then we're spending an action to do nothing, but that nothing is gain 3 resources, draw a card clicklessly, which is really quite good. Now, notably, this card, watch this, has all icons besides book. And once again, lockpicks is technically a book test. It is an intellect test. So you can't like do a cool intellect dive. It has to be one of the other 3. So that honestly might be worth it. The thing is, we're doing 6 to 3, we're doing 7 to 3, and we have to succeed by at least 1 or 2. I think that's pretty good. If we pull the -4, we're sad because we lose 3 resources. We lose a lot of things, let's be honest. And I think Thieves Kit also just gives you a resource, right? Like it's just if successful, not if you get a clue. Yeah. So this is technically just like a basic action card. You can just take a resource for an action if you pass the test, which is good fun. I don't have a better idea. I think we have to do that, and we have to like establish our well connected. I think that's the only way we're going to get our money to the place that matters. So first action, I'm going to Thieves Kit this location. So we have to get a bit lucky here, but we're going to investigate. We're currently with our book stat, which is increased. So our stat is 6 to 3 shroud. So 6 to 3. And we're going to commit watch this to make it 7 to 3. And I'm going to spend 3 resources. So we pull one of the 3 -4s on this. We're in a really, really bad spot. The way to play around that is to commit another card, but we can't commit events. Committing easy street is nonsense. Well connect is really important. So like we could draw once here, or we could just not pull the -4. Like this card. That's a -4. Shit on me. Oh, that's the -4. We went down 2 resources with that action. And we don't even get an action back. There's 3 tokens in the bag, technically 4. So it was about a 75% chance we passed that. So we don't get our watch this money. I haven't failed to watch this in such a long time. It's usually the auto fail. It sucks when it's a token that like, you know, you can play around. Maybe we should have drawn once there. So we don't succeed by 1, so we lose all the money. Devastating. We did succeed though, so we gain a resource. So got him. I wonder if we just not deal with this and lose 3 actions. Like it might be okay. Just saying like, this is going to take us a whole turn, and it buys us a whole turn. At this point, maybe we're a sunk cost fallacy. But we have 2 more actions. So we can fast travel, move, and then we can get an action there. No, I think we just get rid of Langer and move once, and we just ignore this thing. I don't think we can kill this. I think we have to kill this one. What do y'all think? I don't think we have the ability to deal with this. If we don't draw one of our assets, and the issue is like with Langer, we might not draw or be able to play our assets, and not being able to play our events is pretty good. Like we would have probably a sudden fall this thing, which would gain us a whole turn back. But it's 2 actions to gain 3 actions. It's like not that good. Yeah, I think that's it. Very bad turn. I guess we might as well lockpicks here because it should be free. So we're gonna use lockpicks. We're gonna investigate. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 9-3. We probably should have done this first. Oh no, because we're trying to succeed by 2 anyways. No, it's not true. Ow, that hurt. Oh, a token fell out? Oh, fish face fell out. 9-3. -1, that's what we needed. It's a -1. So we get a clue, which means we just get an action back and we can draw a card clicklessly. Prestidigitation. Okay. Prestidigitation. So we can't play this. But that's nice because as soon as we draw an asset that we need, we'll be able to play it and bounce our Thieves Kit. Okay, so I think we're just gonna fast travel with Ollie. So we're gonna ignore this, sell it. And then 2 and 3, we're just gonna get rid of our Langer. And that's it. We're gonna have to discard a card here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, not much you can do. So we'll do upkeep. Man, losing 6 resources feels so bad. We got another Thieves Kit. It has a book icon on it. Technically where we're at needs willpower icons. I think I'm going to discard this. I think it's the worst card in our hand. Especially because we have our lockpicks already. All right, this goes to 8 of 12. We definitely want to knock this thing out. 1 encounter card, Cunning Mimicry. Oh, I think this actually helps us. If there are no monster enemies in play, sorry, the Zealots are not monsters, so this thing just gains Surge. I thought this any enemy would engage us, which would be sick, but no, there are no monster enemies, so again Surge. Zealots are just like cultists and humanoid? Yeah, humanoid cultists. All right, it's gonna be bad. This card's really hard to deal with. Apiary Tender. Aloof Hunter. Prey, lowest agility. So it will just follow you in a really menacing way. But when Doom is placed on the card at this location, Apiary Tender readies. It loses Aloof until the end of that round, so that's a nice round to fight it. But then if it's engaged with an Investigator, it'll make an immediate attack. So this is a card, and there is just a whole bunch of encounter cards in the deck that just say like this enemy put Doom on an enemy. We shuffle all of them back into the deck. Okay. So if we can deal with this Zealot, we buy ourselves a turn. If we want to deal with the Apiary Tender, we can do that with a Sudden Fall. But technically, it's really bad because aloof enemies we just struggle to deal with. Because this only does +2 damage if the enemy's exhausted, and you can't fight an aloof enemy. So we have to engage, evade, engage, fight. So it's a whole turn to deal with this Tender, which means we're gonna not deal with it. We also can now mill 30 cards from the top of the deck. We know the cards that we're looking for in the bottom 11, or sorry, bottom 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so we can spend a whole action to mill. I think it's exactly 30 cards. Maybe it was 29. That might be worth it. Oh god, our money situation is so bad. Losing a watch, this is terrible. This deck doesn't have emergency cash in it, and I'm like so not used to like I don't play emergency cash in rogue decks usually, but maybe with this card pool we need it. Because like I guess I would normally play Faustian Bargain, but that doesn't exist in season 2. That card's absurd. Okay, so all we need to do is spend clues and hopefully knock out the Zealot. This thing will just follow us, which is fine. At some point, it'll engage us. When it engages us, it loses aloof that turn. That's probably the turn that we hit it with a Sudden Fall. So I think we can ignore it for now. We want to succeed by 2. The only way that we can deal with the Zealot is by attacking it. If we want to commit a Sudden Fall, we go up to 5-2 fight, which is not guaranteed. We want to guarantee by 1 more, but I don't know if we're able to cash that check. We want to get a clue from somewhere. No, I think we can just start by milling 3 and see what happens. We should be able to get an action back no matter what. And the locations we're going to be adding should be connected to this apiary entrance. So it should be fine. So I think for our first action, we're going to just use the act. We're going to spend 3 clues. We're just going to mill every single card. We have to spend 3 though. There's no chance we can get this in 2 because they're all in the bottom 12. Okay, back. No, it doesn't bother me if these are spoilers. This has been out long enough. It is what it is. I'll finish this campaign someday. Oh, you started it too, huh? All right, we're going to spend 3 clues. Let's go. So we'll discard. It should be the whole deck. The first 20 shouldn't matter. So 2 acolytes. Yeah. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it can matter. 8. Nope. 9. Nope. 10. And then they're all here in the bottom 10. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We have a corrupted vault. So this is the vault. It is a triangle, so it's attached to the luminous tunnels. It's a one-way location. It puts into play. It's a double action to record this glyph, and it's a victory. One victory and a glyph means we really should go out of our way to get there. It's also a dead end. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the spawning grounds. I'm just gonna mill the rest of the deck because it shouldn't matter. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. So that is a location. It is not, mind you, we're looking for here a sanctum location. It's not a sanctum location. So I'm assuming more shuffling is going to happen. Losing the watch this resource gives you the feeling that you need an e-cache. Yeah, but we did it actionlessly. We actually didn't. Our watch this was an action for no reason. It would have been actionlessly if we passed by 2. But yeah, e-cache is just an action for 3 and has no icons. So it does feel a bit worse. All right, so the map is coming through together. Spawning grounds, 3 shroud, 2 clues. It's attached to the yellow circle, so this is correct. It looks like there's 2 more things that attach to it. I'm assuming that's what we're going to shuffle into the deck. So it says put spawning grounds into play, shuffle and counter discard pile into the deck, which, can you shuffle something into nothing? Wait, I don't think you can shuffle something into nothing. I guess technically we wouldn't reveal this while there's 2 cards still in the deck, but if this is your last card, I don't think this game allows you to shuffle something into the nothing. Like, this should brick. I don't think that, like, if your I know this comes up because if your deck has no cards in it and then you have one of those like cards that says shuffle this back into your deck, like winging it or improvised weapon, you can't. And I know you only shuffle this deck when you need a draw from it. It doesn't does it automatically shuffle? I forget, because one of the rules is Marvel Champions, one of them is Arkham. Regardless, we'll still do it. So it says put spawning grounds into play, shuffle and counter discard pile into the counter deck, find the set aside lost campsite and churning chasm and shuffle them into bottom 10. Okay, so there's 2 more locations. So it's the churning chasm and lost campsite. Mind you, one of those is definitely a sanctum. What time do we usually start, Nelson? We try and start at 8:30. So we've been live for an hour, 18 minutes, and 37 seconds. We are trucking along. As much as we are struggling, we're doing some stuff pretty okay. Started it twice and never finished. Ah, beans. Was it a time thing or was it an interest thing? Or like the group fell apart? To answer your question, my favorite scenarios are the ones with all of the agendas in TFA. Yeah, the like the threads. I forget what's called, threads between. I think that's so many people's favorite scenario. And I don't know if you played Return to, but it adds another agenda. It's sick. The final scenario with Atlak Naka and the Dream Eaters. My favorite campaign is the Circle and Done. Oh, very cool. Circle and Done is not an answer you hear that commonly when it comes to favorite campaign. 8:30 East Coast. Yes, I'm in Montreal. 8:30 East Coast. Yeah, Circle and Done is I think one of my partner's favorite campaigns, but it's like really difficult and we've never got a great ending to it. Threads of Fate. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. You have. Okay, very cool. Yeah. Threads of Fate is such a sick campaign. A friend, a local, was just getting into Arkham and is playing Forgotten Age and is explaining to me like his path through things. And then like when Threads of Fate was coming up, I'm like, yo, you're going to enjoy this thing. It's everyone's favorite. It's really cool too, because you kind of like return to Arkham and then interesting thing happens. Okay, so bottom 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shuffle these together. Yeah, technically I'm in the middle of a Return to Circle and Done campaign with my partner and my brother-in-law. However, it's been on hiatus for I think like 2-3 months. But we're all playing witch characters. My partner is playing, what's her face? Danley? She's playing the Silver Twilight lady. I'm playing alternate Agnes. I forget what my brother-in-law is playing. It's been a moment. I haven't finished the Drowned City because I haven't vibed with the story and regular life stuff. Yeah, that's no problem. It'll be there when things make sense. Okay, that's one action. Cool. That's one action. All right. Oh, I think he's playing George Barnaby. No, that was the last campaign we played. I don't think he's playing George. Oh, yeah, that was definitely the last campaign. Okay, so we still have 2 actions. We have a fast move, and we can get an action back by just like throwing a lockpicks at the world. We could definitely get somewhere and start doing clues that matter. I want to be able to deal with this thing, but again, it's 2 actions to deal with the Zealot, and if we don't deal with it, that's fine. The issue is there's this chanting card that I don't know the name of because it's a new card, and it just adds like 2 doom to the nearest cultist. If that's the case, we actually shouldn't defeat this one. I think that's what the text is, because adding 2 doom to this, no shot we're dealing with it. So I think we're actually going to ignore the cultists. I think Aloof is just too hard to deal with it, unless we draw Arcane naturally. That might be a bit unfortunate. We have too many cards in our hand, so we're gonna have to discard a card. So we're incentivized to just like blast a card here. I don't know what that would be. We don't have any items for prestidigitation, but I think you can just play it to like return something to your hand. It says play an item asset from your hand, reducing its cost, and then separate sentence, when your turn ends, return an item. So I think you're allowed to do that even if you have a no item, not that we would. So we'll fast with Olivier. We'll jump down to the entrance. Fleshy Paths, no. Corrupted Vault, victory. So this should be enough clues to mill through the deck. I think we only need 4 clues to mill through the whole deck. But notably, to advance the act, we also need 2 clues. But I'm pretty sure the location that spawns, the central location, has 2 clues on it. So we'll get to that. Yeah, if each surviving investigator is a sanctum, we can spend 2 clues. I wanted the campaign with clues to feel more epic, especially since the last end of the chapter 1. Yeah. Well, I think we'll probably do a review about this campaign when we wrap it up, but it's definitely a strange campaign. Okay, third action, no. Second action, we'll pop down to the Loomis tunnels. So here we're kind of forced to use our lockpicks, so we will. We could, in theory, discard a card here. Maybe we draw something with prestidigitation, but we'll lockpicks. So we're 6, 7, 8, 9 to 2 on the Loomis tunnels. This has technically text, but not in a way that matters. -1. Okay, so we get a clue. We get an action. We can draw a card. All right. We don't have to discard the hand size just yet. It's Weight of the World. This is our signature weakness. It basically says, with any fail skill test, shuffle this back into your deck and take a horror. We do fail skill tests every once in a while. So far, we've failed, I think, 2. But yeah, this one is rough. We only realized last scenario, Unaware, which is a card I was so scared of, does not fire during the encounter step or the Mythos phase. It only fires during the Investigator phase, which is way better because this is specifically when you fail skill test during your turn. That's okay, because we usually try not to fail skill tests during our turn. It can still happen, but more often than not, we are scared of the encounter phase. I really like the theme on this, that like during your turn, Unaware, and then only when an enemy shows up does it discard itself. I think it's like such a cute, flavorful card. All right, we have one more action here. We could just do Thieves Kit because it's efficient. We have to discard a card, so we might as well just commit a card. Thieves Kit is book or evade, but we're probably going to use our evade. But yeah, there's nothing here we want to play, and I don't want to play any of the events. I guess we could get Well Connected on the table, which is kind of silly because it doesn't do anything. I guess it's kind of good because, well, no, it's not good because we have another Watch This, and we want to have 3 resources. Our best top deck here is out the door. So I think we just discard a card. I think we do just discard a card. We'll see what we do after we upkeep. Maybe we'll draw another weakness. That would be sick. So we're going to use our lockpicks. Our Thieves Kit. So we'll use a charge. We're 6 to 2. -1. Gain a resource, gain a clue. Okay. That's it. Enemy phase, this thing does hunt. As much as it is aloof. And we get our upkeep. So we're at 9 cards in hand. We drew Know the Scene. Not a bad card. This is the one that cares about investigating, right? So +3 to investigation, or this is the parlay one, not Know the Line. So we have to get rid of a card. Know the Scene is 1 wild. Technically, we can investigate, but with our with our lockpicks and our Thieves Kit, this doesn't seem super relevant. It might be the worst card in our hand. Technically, Easy Street is just like 2 wild at this point. It's an Unexpected Courage, and eventually it'll be better than that. But I honestly think Know the Scene might be the worst card in our hand. All of these have utility as much as our money's kind of limited. Let me know if you think that's wrong, but I don't think there's a shot that has to be the worst card in our hand. Like Prestidigitation is a card I really respect, just because if we draw, one of our weapons, spending or installing that thing for cheap, let alone fast, is like so dank good. Saves 1 resource and saves an action. All right, we're at 6, 7, 8, 9 of 12. 1 encounter card. Dangerous Curiosity. Ooh, it has a willpower test. That's not good. All right, test X willpower, where X is your location strat value. It's only 2. If you fail, take 1 damage. That's fine. And discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a stowaway enemy is discarded and draw it. This is a way that you can get technically locations into the discard pile. But actually, we kind of want to fail this because we know the location that we want is somewhere in the bottom 12 cards. And there's nothing in the top like 20 cards. So just getting closer to the 12 cards technically saves us a clue or 2. Shovel each location discarded by this effect back into the counter deck. Okay, cool. So this actually can't get locations into the discard pile. Not that it will, because again, they're at the bottom. So currently we're 2 to 2 on our stats. We don't want to fail by 2. Technically, we probably will fail by 2 because of that. And if we fail, we have to take a horror and shuffle this back into our deck, which is not my favorite thing to do. But I don't think we're going to boost this because we have no good way to boost this. It's only prestidigitation or right under their noses, and I don't want to do either of those. So we're just going to hope that we don't draw a more than a -1, which is definitely one way to live. Elder sign. Oh, 0. Sick. We actually pass. We kind of wanted to discard things, but we'll take that. Okay. It's us. This could be a really boring turn where we just move into the corrupted vault. We do the test on the corrupted vault to get the clue, and then we do victory 1. We're still going to have to discard a card, but I mean, it's a glyph. In terms of the glyph, I think this is a second row glyph. Yeah, it's a second row glyph. Our barrier node needs this, but our barrier node already, we lost one of the things on it, so it doesn't actually matter that we get this. It does matter in this campaign how many glyphs you get. I don't know what the breakpoint is, but I think you want to get about a dozen of them, so like at least half. That would be 13. So we do care about glyphs, let alone I think I care more about the victory. Okay, so we will fast travel with Ollie. So Ollie's going to pop into here. We have 2 options here. We could either Thieves Kit or we could Lockpicks. Lockpicks guarantees largely we get another action back. Thieves Kit gives us resources, which we do care about. So it's weird how both of these cards are actually kind of relevant. I think we're just going to do the Lockpicks because it gives us another action back. As much as we're going to discard a card, I mean, that's fine. We're going to be at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 to 3. Otherwise, we'll be at 6 to 3, which there's still like 3 -4s in the bin, in the bag. The glyph overlay is cool. It's my first time seeing it. Yeah, thank you. I put it together. They actually come in when you translate them. Hopefully we translate one in just this turn. I want to add a sound effect to it, but I'm not good at sound effects in OBS. Put a lot of work in making this look great. Thank you. I definitely do. I want things to be as presentable as possible. No! Why does this happen? Last time we pulled no auto fails and we were like so good. And then this time everything's coming for us. We break a lockpick. We fail by 2 because it's 3 shroud. We have to do the weight of the world. So we take a horror. So we're just going to take our first horror and we have to shuffle this into our deck. No. So not only do we lose that, but we lose an action. That's awful. I'm at the point where prove your worth. We cannot protect it for the rest of the scenario. I think there's like probably another 7 or 8 turns. And I don't know if we can protect it. So if it goes, it goes. I'm not going to play around it. If it was like still untouched, I would be a bit more protective. But like we lose 2 more tests in the next 7 turns, we're likely to lose it. Like just draw the auto fail one more time. Too many. Okay. So that's in there somewhere. All right. So I guess we're going to do our Thieves Kit. Thieves Kit. So we're going to spend a charge. We're 6 to 3. That's it. So we have no way of translating this. So we can at least... We only have 1 more action. So best case, we get another action back just to like play well connected, I guess. But this are... No, we actually have 2 more actions, don't we? Because we did fast travel test. So if we play well connected, it doesn't do anything. Because well connected needs us to have at least 6 resources for it to be valuable. So we'll just Thieves Kit here. Are we going to boost? No. -1. Nice. That's 5 to 3. We succeed by 2. Actually, really good. So we get the clue, which means we get a victory. We get a resource. We get an action. And we get a cigarettes. Wait, can we still translate it? Yeah. Yeah, I think we can. We draw 1903 Hammerless. Okay, so the problem with this card is that it's very bad. What we can do with this card, which will make it a lot better, is that we are allowed to play this to shoot a zealot. Because this thing does 2 damage. It allows us to fight with our evasion stat, our agility, which is really important. But we don't care about the 2 damage when it comes to the zealots. There's 1 more zealot in the deck, but I think we're just going to play this because of the zealots, where you just engage it and shoot it 6 to 2. Like that's the best we can ask for. So this is really quite nice. So again, we did fast travel. Yeah, we didn't mill the deck. We did fast travel, test. So we have 2 more. So we can translate this, and then we can even end our turn by playing a prestidigitation to swap our almost empty lockpicks back to our hand and play the hammerless for 2 less. That's probably okay. I think that's probably good enough. Like we're actually getting close to breaking our lockpicks. But when we play prestidigitation, we have to bounce an item. You could bounce the cigarettes, but they're fine. You can't bounce barrier node because I think it says on it you can't leave play. Yeah, I cannot leave play, so you can't bounce it, but we have to bounce an item. So that's what it is. You technically, we should have in the last scenario, I think, I'm pretty sure bounced our diving suit. It was better than bouncing the weapon that we needed. Okay, so I'm gonna just translate it. Corrupted Vault. So Corrupted Vault, spend 2 actions in your campaign log, record hand under this. So let's translate a thing. So translate hand. It's next to time. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is not too bad, and that's going to be the end of our turn. But I think we will, excuse me, first play prestidigitation. There's got to be a faster way to say it. Presto. Lucy. Lily, I spent so much time learning how to say that word that I can't goof it. Prestidigitation. I feel so good about it. All right, we're gonna do it. So cost 1. So it says play an item asset from your hand. Oh, but the problem is it will be over hand size first. Yeah, this bounces at the end of the turn, not when you play it. I think we messed that up last time we did it too. Needs a short name? Digitation. Good old digitation. Oh yeah, so this will put us over hand size if we want to do this. So maybe we don't play it. If we don't play it, we basically have to discard 2 cards at the end of our turn. No matter what, this is when your turn ends, add a card back. So we're only going down 1 card anyways. So we're gonna have to discard 2 cards here. I think that might not be the end of the world. Breaking and entering doesn't seem that good. It's like good, but it doesn't seem that good on this board state. Aloof enemies, breaking and entering is not that important. We haven't seen any enemy that has bad text when it's ready. This card is a very, very strong card, and it really mattered when we had Medusas, but so far it doesn't seem to matter against any of these things. Easy streets are going to be good. So I could see us just passing the turn and not playing Prestidigitation until we like empty our Thieves Kit. And then we'll probably discard it anyways. Yeah, that's probably fine. Feels bad, but it is what it is. Enemy phase. Good old digitation. I'm not saying Presti. I don't like saying Presto. Presti's too cute. We do upkeep. We ready everything? We draw. And watch this. Okay, look at that good old 6 over there underneath my face. You want to hit that? We want to see that number hit 3 as fast as possible. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have to discard 2 cards. I don't love it. I think it's breaking and entering. And I think there's a chance it's right under their noses. We haven't been struggling to get clues, and we've actually emptied every victory location, but this is really good if there's more locations and we can't travel to them quickly, because right under their nose can ping clues off of neighboring locations. Just evading inherently has not been very good against aloof enemies, and yeah, that's going to be a problem. These are a package. These are a package. This is a package. This is how we deal with big things, so I think it has to be this by like definition, but let's see if we regret that. It's a very powerful effect, and that's our second copy of it, so it's not coming back. All right, we're at 10 of 12 because there's 2 Doom on enemies. Mind you, if we want to deal with the Zealot, it's going to be a whole turn anyway, so maybe we just don't. 1 encounter card. Oh, Dark Magician from Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Magician, Hunter, Retaliate, not aloof. It's on us. When the round ends, place 1 Doom on an enemy without Doom on it. Victory 1. Do you still need well-connected this late? Yeah, I think so. Because at some point our money only goes up, right? Because we eventually stop spending money, and then we just have this way to be able to pass tests. You're right, it's a bit slow, but like I do think when we play this, it gives us +1. Like that's fine, you know, just a +1 win in if you need it. Because we have to actually beat -4s somewhat consistently, because we're never getting rid of this Eye of the Deep. Yeah, Dark Magician, just like straight Yu-Gi-Oh! Reprint. 6 stars, 2500 attack. Is this landing with the demographic? Played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was in 6th grade. Yeah, Hunter, Retaliate. Okay, it's honest. That's cool. Okay, how do we deal with this? A sudden fall doesn't do it. Not on its own. But a sudden fall can do 3 damage, which will knock this thing down to 1. A Dark Magician says when the round ends, place a Doom on the enemy with no Doom on it nearest than the Dark Magician, so it'll count itself, which means we'll be at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then we have to defeat this turn, right? Because we're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that'll be 12. We have to deal with it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has apparently never had a rotation. No, they have a cooler thing. It's called power creep. The cards naturally rotate themselves because every year they just print the same card with slightly bigger numbers. I want to say that is a take from a 6th grade Andre, who was really, really annoying. Really annoyed when they just printed a better 4-star card with more numbers on it and no downside. You also collected it way back. I played when like an 1800 was a good 4-star, and then they printed an 1850, and then they printed a 1900, and I was not happy with myself. I always wanted to be known as the Dark Magician too. It's never too late. You might have to do a career path change, but we have to defeat this. So this might just be a double 1903 prestidigitation turn. It might be that. And we might just like jettison our Thieves Kit. Actually, we probably jettison the lockpicks. Something is getting jettisoned because we only have 2 hand slots. And again, I totally forgot how this works. You play the thing, then return the thing. I thought you return the thing, then play a thing, but that would be way better. So we actually have to go over our hand slots here. Okay, so the 1903 only does 2 damage if it's evaded, so we have to do evade, which will probably succeed by 2, and then we have to do play the thing fast, and then we have to do shooty shoot. That should be okay. It's still gonna be 2 actions with sudden fall, so it doesn't really help anything. Dark Magician has a cool hat? Oh, the Dark Magician, yeah, has a very cool hat. This Dark Magician doesn't have a cool hat. There is an Edison format, basically retro format that's gaining popularity. Oh, and Yu-Gi-Oh? Sick. So I can play like my Genie of the Magic Lamp and feel okay with myself. Play my Labyrinth Wall. Unbeatable. 2000 defense. There's no way of beating it. Oh no, Man-Eater Bug. It's weird how that memory doesn't leave you. I think we're just going to have to 1903 this. That's technically 3 actions. No, it's always 3 actions. Yeah, I think we just start by evading. This is a good watch this. Shut up. We're going to evade. We're going to play watch this. And you always spend 3 resources. If you don't spend 3 resources, why are you playing the card? So we are evading 6-7 to 2. We need to succeed by 1, which we are covered in nearly all cases with a very heavy nearly. Oh, it's red. Oh, that was scary. This is a -1. This is a skull. God, that skull keeps getting me. It is -1 half the amount of doom on enemies in play, rounded down. So we succeed by 2. So we get 6 resources, which imagine that happened. We would have had 6 more resources at this point in the game. We would have had 6 more. It's evaded. We succeeded by 2. We get an action. We draw a card. More cigarettes. Smoking's cool, kids. Gives you a lot of value. Click compressed value. All right, so we still have 3 actions. We could prestidigitation the 1903 Hammerless, no problem. We'd have to get rid of our Thieves' Kit or Lockpicks. At this point, our deck is this big. 15 cards. So there's 1 more Lockpicks, 1 more Thieves' Kit. We have to be honest to ourselves. Would we rather be in a world where we had only Lockpicks with 1 counter on it, and we've never broken all 3 Lockpicks counters, we dropped 2 autofills, or do we want to be on a Thieves' Kit with 2 counters left? I can't tell you which one is better. This one like nearly guarantees our fire. I do think the locations, as the deeper we're going to get, they're just going to get higher and higher shrouds. Like we went from 1 shroud to 2 shroud to 3 shroud. So it's not unreasonable to think the final location has 4 shroud. It's been too long for me to play this to remember the fine details about it. So I could see the lockpicks being valuable there. And then we can bounce the lockpicks and replay them. Yeah, I think we should just prestidigitation the gun. Ooh, sleight of hand. It's been a gun the whole time. So we'll pay 1. Play an item ass in your hand. So we'll trash the Thieves' Kit because we're over hand size. Mind you, you can only do that when you're over hand size. It's not like Netrunner where you can just like discard it whenever you're installing things in the same slot. 1903 Hammerless only comes in with 4 bullets. That probably isn't accurate for a gun of this size. And now we're going to take 3 more actions. Second action, we're going to use the 1903 Hammerless. We're going to... Oh, this is actually kind of hard. He has 4 fight. Huh, he has 4 fight. He has 4 fight. I forgot about this. If the target enemy is exhausted, it deals 1 damage, but he has 4 fight. We're 6-4. That's not good. Do we just sudden fall instead? That's not good enough, because this only does 3 damage. Are we emotionally ready enough to commit an easy street or well connected? Oof. Well connected, we can spend an action. It'll give us +1. Imagine we had 6 more resources. What a world. We shouldn't dwell on that. That's unhealthy. Yeah. What a world. 6-4. So there is 1 -3, 3 -4s on auto fail. So we're still at like 70%. We also still have 3 actions, including this one. So we can biff one of these. I think we just go for it. I think we just do 6-4. That's a -4. That's bad. Close sister is 6 to see. If you fail, take 1 damage or horror. Okay. So now we will lose so many actions if we do not defeat this. Did you pull an autofail on a different watch this test? No, we pulled the -4 just like that, and we were up by 4. So it was like a pretty awkward test that we kind of foisted upon ourselves. It was not necessary, but you have to succeed by 1. We succeeded by 0. Watch this is you have to be a bit, special. Oh, you 1000 X resist posting. Don't mind me. I haven't finished it. I need to get back to it. I really enjoyed from what of it I played, but now it's been so long. I probably have to replay the intro again. I was at the point where I was in the Pyro's head. Okay, so we only have 2 more actions because we failed one. We did a fast action. We did a successful evade. So we just have to like do it, which means we have to commit an easy street here and hope for the best. Easy street will cover every case besides don't worry about it. We'll shoot again. So we're at 5, 6. We have 8 resources. So this will add 3. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 to 4. Well connected, maybe helpful with removing this treachery or deal with this token in the future. Yeah, it might have been. It might have been worth playing but we failed the first test, so we don't have time to do it. Because if we fail this, we lose so many actions. That's like chapter 2. Not much to replay at least. Yeah, exactly. -1 on the skull. Does 2 damage. And I have to burn the other well connected if we want to be safe. We have to give ourselves a bit of agility because we're currently 6 to 2 and there's a -4. So I'm doing the next easy street, which that is the worst easy streets we've ever played. So one more time, +3. So 9 to... This guy is victory, though. So, like, we're technically doing something. -2. Okay. So we don't lose, like, 3 turns. But we have defeated the Dark Magician. Summon Skull was always better. I'll just put a little purple thing on it. No, that's confusing. It looks like Doom. We'll remember this is not Doom. It's victory. That's for us. It's a little treat. And then last action, we'll Olivier Bishop into here. There's a chance we might get attacked by this thing, but it's okay. That's it. Upkeep. Oh, actually, no. What we can do, you can do this thing, is the Apiary Tender will move into here during the enemy phase. Oh, no. Olivier Bishop's only during your turn, right? Yeah, during your turn. Otherwise, you could technically move after it moves to your location. But no. It's aloof. It's not on us. Card and credit. Hey, guys. Our best friend is here. Andy Van Nortwick. Everyone's favorite character, Andy Van Nortwick. Wow, it's pretty expensive. 4 cost, 1 book. You can sometimes do it. It's Andy Van Nortwick. I'm not upset. You're upset. God. It's fine. We're at the witching hour. We're at 11 of 12. Good old Andy Van Nortwick. Hungry Walls. Ooh. I like when you draw the flavorful ones. Revelation. Attach this card to your location. Okay. When you leave attached location, either test for agility or for combat. I think that's what it's called. If you fail and you've tested agility, take 1 damage and discard this. Oh, sorry. Discard an asset you control and take 1 damage. That's okay. We can deal with that. If it's physical, which we won't do, take 2 direct damage, discard Hungry Walls. We're not going to do that. Andy, the lesser TDC ally. It's like lesser's not even strong enough of a word. Like lesser is technically correct, but hey, there's so much more flavor we could have added. 2 times I tried to play this campaign, I've never gone this way. Yeah, me neither. No, I've gone through it. I don't think I've finished it. But yeah, I've never truly gone west. And it's because if you go east, yeah, you go east. It's way better. That's why we have to go west. Okay. So we have 3 clues. The deck has to be 30 cards or less. We are advancing this turn. Generally, if you're not at the place you want to be at, we want to be there before we advance. But we have to be there, and we also have to spend 2 clues, which is unlikely. Now, they look like they're going to be connected to Spawning Grounds, because Spawning Grounds has 2 more things attached to them. So we have still more place to go. So we know the cards that we want are in the bottom 12. Let's just keep that in mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm pretty sure you're allowed to count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's a chance we can only spend 2 clues, but very likely, well, guaranteed if we spend 3 clues, we'll get there. It's worth keeping in mind, we can maybe knock out a zealot. And if we can knock out a zealot in less than 3 actions, it actually is worth the time it takes us, because we could like fast move over there. Okay. Engage. We could shoot it. Oh, the 1903 hammerless has to be in our hand. Sorry. We forgot it. That's the thing with prestidigitation. Good old digitation. I need to remember this thing. When your turn ends, return an item asset. Will we return our lockpicks, or we would return to 1903 hammerless? I guess we saw in the counter step, so like that sucks. I think we would actually return the lockpicks because of they're going to break. And now we can fast travel to this, and we could engage 1 action. We could shoot with the 1903 hammerless, likely to get us an action back. And then we move down. So we functionally spent 2 actions on it, kind of 1 action on it, because we got an action back, but we wouldn't struggle to get an action back anyways. So it actually might be okay to deal with one of these guys. Because again, we're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If we defeat it, we're back to 8, and then we go back. Sorry, we're back to 10, and then we go to 11. I could see that being okay. Notably, the problem with Hungry Walls is that you only get rid of it if you fail. You only discard this if you fail. There's discard an asset you control. Yeah, they're only attached to failing. So we're going to have to do this test a lot. So it's after you leave. So if we go up and then go back down, we'll have to do this test twice. This wants us to discard an asset you control. So like eventually discarding an empty 1903 Hammerless or one bullet 1903 Hammerless might not be the worst thing in the world. Do you think, chat, do you think we go up and we destroy this thing? Because we can fast travel up, we can engage shoot, probably get an action back, we can move down, we can move one more. It is functionally trading a turn for a turn, but then we have to do Hungry Walls one more time. It's probably not worth it. Yeah, it's probably not worth it, let's be honest. Yeah, I don't think it is. I think we just keep moving, right? Or I think we just spend 3 clues and see what happens. Yeah, let's just spend 3 clues. So we're going to do the act. So we just spent 3 clues. We're down to 0. One of these petals does it. So yeah, discard 10 cards. So we're just going to discard. I'm just going to go ahead and discard like this much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It should be somewhere here in the bottom 12. Again, there's nothing in here that worth caring about because we're going to discard everything. This is 18 cards, I'm pretty sure. Just going to separate those two. Technically, you have to keep the discard pile in order, but I don't know if there's a card that says search for the topmost in this encounter set. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we found the Churning Chasm. This is not the central one. Churning Chasm. Put Churning Chasm into play and spawn the set-aside Squamous Parasite, our friend. This is attached to Heart, which we're at Heart. So yeah, this is a crowded board and a half. So this is here. This is here. This is still legible. Has 1 clue. When you begin your turn in Churning Chasm, you can move to any revealed location. Oh, that's really good. But you have to begin your turn there for fast travel. I mean, that's interesting. What's Squamous do? We pulled this one up accidentally because I really remember the text on this. 3/1/3 Retaliate. If Squamous Parasite would leave play, set aside out of play, and when you defeat this, flip this enemy and resolve its text. And because it has 1 health, it's good for Kane, but it's equally good to just shoot it with the 1903 Hammerless. It's might be worth victory, but I'm assuming on the back it's a glyph and probably a victory. Can you imagine trying to do this two-handed? I did honestly, like, I want to play two-handed because it's so much more interesting, but how do you do a table? Like, I have to attach the camera to the ceiling. And then I like slide it over. Like if I zoom out more than this, you start to see the floor. And this is a big table. But yeah, you just need so much space to do this cleanly for camera. I don't know how you meant to do this two-handed. Hold on. I do think the act and agenda we can do digitally. Like those don't matter. So like we can get that table space back. But then you also have the issue because I'm using a microphone is like it literally gets in the way. If I had a headset or a lapel, like a lavalier mic, maybe I could have more mobility. Yeah, I don't know. It's a nightmare. It gets really, really bad. It gets really complicated. Anyways, still discarding. We discard the whole deck. It's exactly 30 cards. Last card? Literally last card. So it did matter. Wow, that's wild. Last Campsite. This is our Sanctum. So we have to spend here 2 clues. So put Lost Campsite into play. Draw the topmost card beneath Lost Campsite as an action. Victory 1. So we're going to draw cards from underneath it, but it only has 1 clue, which we need 2 clues to advance, and actually isn't connected to the spawning grounds. It's connected to the tunnels. So everything's kind of connected together. No, wait. No, wait, what? Hold on. This is a moon. No, I did this wrong. This is here. This is here. Yeah, I did it wrong. It was the way that we thought it'd be. So this is connected to the spawning grounds on the other side, and it has a fast travel button. It's connected only back to this. And this is connected to this and is only connected there. Excuse me. So it's like this. Okay. Good enough. The acting agenda don't take up too much space though. The map sprawls. Yeah, no, the map sprawls, but we could add more space up there. Oh, sorry, I covered most of that while I was setting that up. But yeah, these are actually now up here and they're attached to this. So this is kind of like one long hallway. But we actually have to get the clues off of the spawning grounds, which has no more active text because we need to spend 2 clues here as a fast action to advance. And we're at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to advance this turn. We've spent 1 action. We definitely want to get a free action back. Wait, we have no way to get clues? What are these? Oh, the other cards. Wait, we have no way to get clues? Oh yeah, because we were meant to bounce our hammerless versus our lockpicks. So we chose the lockpicks. Yeah, that's on us, I guess. Okay, well, I want to do the parasite. We could probably just do the parasite. So we still have 2 actions and we want to get an action back. So we could fast travel to the spawning grounds. We can travel to the churning chasm, and then we could fight the parasite. The thing is, if we fight it, we're 6-3. And if we fail it, it's not the end of the world, but we want to succeed by 2, which is not super likely. We need to find a minute to put down our lockpicks, but that's mostly it at this point. So we're going to Olivier Bishop and see what happens, because Hungry Walls happens immediately. Hungry Walls says, when you leave attached location, which happens technically when we're just about the way out, I think we still do the test here. We have to do a test. We're going to do agility 4, so we're 6-4. If we fail, we have to discard an asset and take a damage, which that's not good. Cool. We're not going to boost this. No. We want to get lucky on this one. But maybe it's not the worst thing to discard this. It's just like we need our hammerless. We want our cigarettes. Yeah. I guess we have to get rid of our hammerless. Oh, Elder Sign. Sick. We haven't drawn that yet. That's +1 and I think gain a resource, or +2 and gain a resource. Yeah, gain a resource +1. Nice. All right. So no downside. We're on 10 resources, which is good. We still have 2 actions. At some point, we want to get our well connected down. So I think, yeah, if we deal with this thing, 2 actions, huh? 2 actions. We want to deal with it next turn because we're not going to advance. We always just drop the lockpicks, get the spawning ground. So that will give us a card and everything else. It's probably a bit better because we should be getting the André nearly guaranteed if we do lockpicks. So I think I'm actually going to set up and do that. So I'm going to play lockpicks. Oh wait, what did we succeed by? We succeeded by 3. We were 6, 7. No, we were 6, 7, 8-4. So we can draw cigarettes and we actually have another action. All right. That's fine. Don't get too excited. It's Way of the World. All right. So we spent 1 action. We fast traveled. We succeeded a test. It's so cool to get a free action while moving, right? Like if we could play the running shoes, the track shoes, which are not a thing for multiple reasons. So now we still have 3 actions left. Okay. So we can move in there. We can engage the bug. We could fight it. We could also move in there. Because like being in here is kind of nice because it gets a fast travel when you end your turn in the churning chasm. This churning chasm just says move for free when you start your turn here. When your turn begins, you can choose to move to any location. So we want to get 2 clues. So I could see us playing the well connected here, actually like legitimately playing it. It brings us down to 8, which is perfect. Then we can move in there. The thing engages us and we could shoot the thing with a 1903 hammerless. We'd be 8-4 or 8-3. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're actually going to commit to the well connected because our money is now stabilized. And I think we have 1 more out the door to draw for 4 resources. So second action, we're going to play well connected. Card's really good. We just added it to our deck. So we can exhaust this to give us +1, which is quite nice. For every 4 resources we have, it just like modulos down. So it rounds down. And then we can spend 2 resources if we're really, really rich to ready this in a pinch. Sometimes that's correct. So that is 1, 2, 3. We'll enter the churning chasm. Our friend, the parasite, engages us. Has retaliate. I guess that's worth knowing. I just try to search retaliate. And then we're going to shoot it with the 1903 hammerless. Yeah, that's fine. It uses our foot. So this thing has 3 fight. We're 6, and we're going to use well connected here because we might as well because there's no other time to use it. And so we have 10 resources. Mind you, sorry, we have to pay 2 for it. So we have 8 resources. So we're at 6, 7, 8, 8-3. We don't care to succeed by 2. We've already done it. -1. We have defeated the Squamous Parasite. Pretty good. All right. It says when you defeat this, flip the enemy over, resolve its text. What do you got for me? The alien creature's carapace crumbles to reveal a shining black sigil. It must have devoured this piece of technology, or was it assembled from it? Pressing the sigil projects an image of a cloudy golden sky, somewhere not of this world. A series of glyphs and descending lines overlay the scene. Eventually, their meaning becomes clear. You discover this glyph. It says air, then add this card to victory to play. So hey, we've got a fair bit of victory so far. So we're going to translate air, Nice. We're working on that row. So we have 2 victories so far, and a whole bunch of locations have victory. As much as we're going to advance, and it's probably not good for us. I had to look up squamous, and apparently means scaly. I didn't know what it meant, and I actually didn't look it up. There's a word that shows up in this scenario if you go east that I had to look up. There's been a couple words so far we've had to look up. Shout out to Coelum. Coelum. Good old Coelum. Imagine a version of Well Connected that's permanent, like the last version of Dark Horse. Did we never get a permanent Dark? I thought we got a permanent Well Connected at some point. Because I know there's 2 Well Connecteds. I think there's 2 Well Connecteds. Anyways, that's it. We've done all our stuff. Enemy phase, this thing hunts. Cool. These things, because we didn't defeat them, are still going to possibly game Doom in the next like act, which is pretty bad. We probably should have dealt with them, but we're not capable of it. So that's it. We're going to do upkeep. We draw manual dexterity. That's nice. It's just 2 feet. And if we succeed, we draw. All right. And this is going to go to 10. We clear the whole table because it hits 12. Just level 0? What was the difference with the level 0 one? You couldn't ready it? All right. Let's see what happens because we're advancing. So stirring in the dark, just that flavor text. We hit 12. We flip it over. It becomes swallowed whole. The tunnels branch and merge like blood vessels in a vast alien gullet. Every surface is covered in fleshy organic growths. What you first thought were tremors were the tunnels themselves, tightening and expanding like the muscles of a large trachea. As you round a corner, you see a nightmarish creature with sightless, buggy eyes slither out of sight. Place clues on each location without Victory X. So that's terrifying. Up to its clue value. Okay, hold on. Let's do that. So every place gets refilled, at least non-victory places, which is obviously that's fine. I think we're going to run out of green dice. No joke. We're going to run out of green dice. We might have to use black dice. So this refills. This is fine. This is fine. This gets 1. That gets 1. I own 8 green dice. So far, so good. Again, victory, victory, victory. Seems good. Shuffle the set aside grotesque amalgam. I think that's mean. Into the counter discard pile and place those cards on the bottom of the counter deck. Wait, I'm having a suspicion that we messed this up already. How does the thing come back? The thing that follows. Okay, anyways. Shuffle the grotesque amalgam enemy into the counter discard pile and place those cards on the bottom of the counter deck. We had perfectly decked out again. Okay, put the aggressive amalgam with the counter deck discard pile. Shuffle the set and counter. Okay. Can you put something on the bottom of nothing? Can you put something on the bottom of nothing? I think this is meant to shuffle as soon as it empties. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, for every 5 resources and no ready. Okay, that's a big difference. Whatever, we'll shuffle this in. So there's an amalgam in there. It's the whole deck. Just got shuffled. Again, we have to get to the Lost Campsite with 2 clues. The Lost Campsite also has victory. So I honestly think we might not do the fast travel because we're going to have to get 2 clues somewhere. And there's only 1 clue here. And then maybe we get some on the spawning grounds. I can't tell. The fast travel doesn't seem super useful here. Okay. Our last agenda is called Loathsome Parasites. Only 6. Oof. Loathsome creatures emerge from every nook and cranny. If you don't escape soon, you'll have a feeling you'll become a permanent resident. Forced. When Doom is placed on this agenda, if there are no non-elite enemies in play, reveal cards in the top of the counter deck until an enemy is revealed in the spawn it. Shuffle each other revealed card and place them on top of the counter deck. That won't matter. We got a lot of enemies, but we only have 6 turns here. And there's a whole bunch of cards that'll just add Doom to the Zealots. And that's obviously an issue. Like 2 Dooms on a Zealot means we just like lose 9 actions, 6 actions. Like it's gonna cook us for sure. 1 encounter card, whole deck is shuffled. So who knows? We draw Torment. Okay. This is one that we're going to fail by 2. Peril, don't help me. 2 to 3 willpower. If you fail, asset, event, or skill, each investigator discards a card. We have event, asset, asset. So we're probably going to just fail and say skill here because we only have 1 skill. These are important. These are important. Actually, we could get rid of Andy Van Norvik. We probably will get rid of Andy Van Norvik. It's a pretty suitable end. Well, no, the 2 book is not bad. We'll see what happens. 2 to 3. If we fail, we have to take a horror, shuffle our weakness in, and depends how much we fail by. This is -0. We fail by 1. That's perfect. So the skull cares about Doom on cards in play. So that's 0. So we only fail by 1. So we don't do Prove Your Worth, but we have to do everything else. So I guess we'll just do Weight of the World first. So we have to take a horror, shuffle this into our deck. That sucks because our deck is small. So the chance of redrawing is obviously pretty high. And we have to name asset, event, or The other one. Skill. So the question is manual dexterity. We can use on our 1903 hammerless. That's pretty good. It also just like cantrips and draws a card. So it's kind of like discarding 2 cards. Sort of. Andy Van Norvik is just 2 book and we won't play him. I don't think we need 2 book here. We'll say asset. We discard 1 card. It's not random, right? Yeah, of that type. Not random. Okay, it's back to us. So notably, the Churning Chasm has text. I think we're just going to use that text anyways. So when your turn begins, we're just going to move to the spawning grounds. It allows us to save 1 action because we're just going to try and get these 2 clues, which is a bit tricky, actually. Maybe we want Andy for that. I think we might actually want Andy here because Andy brings us to, oh, technically we're on 5 book if we use Well Connected. Yeah, that's probably good enough. If we play our lockpicks, we actually hit a breakpoint that's pretty bad because lockpicks makes us go down -3. So I think we want to investigate first, then play lockpicks, investigate, move to the campsite, and then we can advance. And notably, the campsite has text, but it also has, unfortunately, victory for 4 shrouds. So that's a lockpicks problem. Okay, first action. We will just investigate. You know what? Maybe we do keep an Andy here because I think we have to pass this. We're at 3, 4, 5. Andy will put us at 7-3. Yeah, I'm going to discard the cigarette case. Yeah, why would we keep the cigarette case? Why would we keep the cigarette case? Why is it keeping that? Okay, so now we're here. We're going to just do a basic investigate. We're 3 on our stats. This place is 3 shrouds, so not great. But of course, we can use Well Connected, which I think we're going to use here. So we go 4, 5, and then we'll throw in Andy Van Norvik. Classically, he has 2 book icons, 7-3. We've only discarded him to random effects or to skills. So 7-3 is good. We want to succeed by 2. This is a -4. So we don't succeed by 2, but we do pass because this is counted as the Elder Sign, which is a very rough -4. So we do get a clue. Oh, that's good. 1 other clue. Okay. Second action, we're going to play the lockpicks. We have the hand slots. Costs us 3. So money goes down. Other lockpicks. Oh, this is where our green dice are. Okay, so hold on. I was like, where's the other green die? It's here. Third action. We'll use the lockpicks. So now we're doing 6, 7, 8, 9-3. Skull is -0, so we succeed by 2. So we get all our good stuff. Firstly, we get a clue. We get an action back, and we can smoke. We draw the exit. This is the one for fighting. That's really good. As much as the 2 copies of Sunfall have been burning a hole in our hands since I think turn 1 and 2. But that's good. This is 2 or 3 wild, for an attack or an evasion. All right, fast action will alleviate back into the campsite, and we can immediately advance if we want to. I think we will. So the act just says, mind you, we're going to mill cards from the deck for no reason, but the act just says here that if each surviving investigator is at Sanctum location, investigators may spend the requisite clues. You may not be able to explore further after you advance. Where's the cane? I know, bottom of the deck. We definitely want to find one sooner than later because we're running out of bullets, that's for sure. So I think we're going to spend the clues in advance and see what happens. I don't remember what happens here, let alone I don't remember if advancing with only 1 action left is bad or good. Sometimes it's bad. All right, we get Heart of the Apiary. All right, if each investigator is at Lost Campsite, which it is, that's the East versus West thing, or West versus East, more accurately. After searching the campsite, you find yourself surrounded by robed figures holding torches, but no weapons. A soft-faced woman in a patchwork cloak emerges from the crowd. Please don't be alarmed. We have no intention of harming you. Each investigator loses all of their clues. Proceed to interlude. The Lost Pilgrims, page 21. All right, let's do some reading. So we've met people here. Again, we did see some torn cloth, or I'm not exactly sure how the story goes, but it looks like there's some people surviving here. So let's see what they're about. All right, I'm just going to read this off paper. Coughing weakly, the woman introduces herself as Maria Rivera. She and the others are a collective of pilgrims from all walks of life, led to this place by their dreams. This is the domain of the drowned god, the dead monarch Cthulhu. We have been instructed by our leader, Lady Dao, to await his return in this ancient city. The name Cthulhu rings in your ears. You have heard it time again in your dreams. Maria continues. However, there is something malevolent living in these tunnels, something I fear we awakened by our presence. We sent one of our own to find help, but they haven't returned. Your discussion is cut short by a dreadful roar. Maria lowers her gaze. Since we've arrived, we've been pursued by something awful. It hunted us through the streets, the ancient archive, and even through the city's heart. I hoped it would not follow us into this corrupt and horrible place. She coughs weakly. I do not have the strength to lead them out of these tunnels. Please, I beg you, lead us to safety. Another roar echoes through the tunnels, closer this time, accompanied by the trilling of parasites. Andy looks to you, then to Maria, and says, gather your people. Nobody deserves to die down here. All right, some stuff to do. Flip apiary entrance to its dangerous exit side. Okay. So it looks like we're trying to get out. We are a couple steps away. When you flip it, it keeps all clues and attachments, but technically has 0 clues on it. So the other side of the apiary entrance, this is what it looks like. So it says when a stowaway enemy is drawn, and those are things like the apiary tenders and stuff like that, spawn it at the apiary entrance instead of its normal spawn location. So they all spawn here. As an action, spend a clue to place a cultist asset or enemy at this location underneath the act. Cultist asset or enemy. There's already one here. And spend a clue as an action to place an asset or enemy at this location underneath the act, and you can always resign. So it looks like we're trying to get the cultists out. Definitely a change of mood. Search the encounter deck, discard pile, and all in and out of play area for each non-weakness cultist enemy. Shuffle them together and place them face down, stacked beneath lost campsite. Okay, one more time. Search the encounter deck, discard pile, and all in and out of play areas for each non-weakness cultist enemy. So our deck doesn't have any cultists, but these are cultists. 1, 2, and then there's a whole bunch still in the deck, like all of the pilgrims, and then the zealot. Wait, is the dark magician coming out? Is the victory display out of play? 1, 2, 3. Wait, do we lose the dark magician? 3, 4. 5. Please don't tell me we lose the dark magician. Not a cultist. Is a stowaway cultist. 5. The dark magician is a cultist? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Wait, wow, really? 7. Yeah, that's all the cultists. So again, just to make sure we're on the same page. Search the encounter deck, discard pile, and all in and out of play areas for each non-weakness cultist. Shuffle them together and place them down face down stack beneath lost campsite. We just lost the dark magician. They're in a face down stack. And again, it's an action to draw the topmost card beneath lost campsite. So we don't know what we're drawing. Obviously they're enemies, but that's not good. So we have to rip up our victory. We have to put them all together. So again, there are 3 zealots, 3 pilgrim acolytes, which are kind of equivalent, 1 scary pilgrim leader, and then 1 scary dark magician. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cultists. We shuffle these and they go underneath lost campsite, and we can randomly draw a card from the top of this. That's a big pile. Darker magician, darkest magician. That sounds like Yu-Gi-Oh! Power creep. They probably did do that at some point. Okay. Choose an investigator to take control of the set-aside Maria Rivera story asset. Remember that Maria is also a cultist who can be saved. Okay, I guess we'll pick ourselves. This is Maria. She has 5 health. She's victory 0, so if she's defeated, she's just kind of removed. She doesn't take up an ally slot, but it's Maria Rivera. All right. I like her outfit. A lot of symbols. When damage would be placed on the cultist enemy at your location, place it on Maria instead. So we have to protect the cultists. When doom would be placed on the cultist enemy, exhaust Maria, place it on Maria instead as damage. And again, when we spawn these things, a lot of them say when they enter play, put doom on them. So, all right, this is Maria. She is kind of a friend. If Maria is defeated, add her to the victory displays. Victory 0. 5 health, already better than Andy, and slotless. She also prevents doom. Kind of the best. Looks like she's having a rough time. I like this art a fair bit, actually. We see art like this. I don't know if it's the same person, but like in Hemlock Vale, when you find like the desiccated family, like that sort of art is kind of sticks with you. All right. Okay, this is the thing that I was worried about. So spawn the set-aside inescapable enemy exhausted at the location furthest from all investigators. So this thing hasn't shown up yet, but there's this enemy that just pursues you through the entirety of Relia, which is the inescapable. If you played Resident Evil 2, think of like Mr. X, I believe is his name. It's just this thing that constantly follows. It also is relentless, so if it ever catches up with you, it just hits you twice, and it actually reacts to pulling a certain token, and we pull that token consistently because we have this Eye of the Deep thing. So shuffle the rest of the inescapable counter set into the counter deck. That's fine. It's 3 agility tests, so that one's not the end of the world. But hey, Mr. X is here. Oh, excuse me. Mr. X is here, and Mr. X is pretty bad. So the inescapable. Has a colored pencil look? Yeah, it does. This is the inescapable, 6 health. Relentless is a new keyword that only showed up in this box, nowhere else. And it says if it attacks, and specifically during the enemy phase, it'll attack twice. It spawns where it says it spawns. It doesn't have retaliate, it only has 2 evade. But it says the first time a fish face token is revealed from the chaos bag, ready the inescapable and resolve its hunter keyword, it does not attack. It only attacks can be 4 physical. Like, this thing is one of the scariest things to hit you. We have to shuffle these cards into the deck. Wait, that's our deck. I was like, why are the backs different? So these go into the deck, and when you draw these, they can make the thing move, but they're fine. Have you killed it for good in your other plays of the campaign? Yes, in half of them. A bit of a spoiler, but yeah, there's a way to deal with this thing permanently. But if not, it follows you. I don't remember if it comes back to Arkham, but I don't think it does. But there is one situation in this campaign where you can actually defeat it permanently, but it's pretty tricky. Okay. Place clues on each location without victory X up to its clue value. Continue playing. That's all it says. Which means all we have to do is place 2 clues on this, and that's it. All right, so we still have an action, but we still have to see what the last act is. And mind you, we don't have a lot of turn time here. We only have 5 more turns. So this is Lost Pilgrims. Excuse me. All right. It says each cultist enemy gains victory 0 and aloof. The campsite is under attack by alien parasites. Parlay, that doesn't take attack of opportunities. Test 2 book or 2 fight. We're pretty bad at those. For each point you succeed by, move a different cultist enemy at your location once in any direction. When the enemy phase ends, each cultist enemy takes 1 damage for each stowaway enemy at its location. So you have to keep them separated from the stowaways. Each cultist enemy takes 1 damage? What? But what? Huh? Inescapable enters play exhausted? For real? Excuse me? Yeah, thank you. Okay, cool. That helps. Okay, so this is not good because we have to do things with our book and our fight. And we have 2 book, 2 fight. Once again, we find ourselves just like Hibbs Roadhouse with the worst possible stats to deal with this. And we played our 2 easy street. So like, we are not going to be passing these tests at all. For each point you succeed by, move a different cultist enemy at your location once in any direction. Okay. When the enemy phase ends, each cultist enemy takes 1 damage for each stowaway enemy. Even if the stowaway enemy is exhausted, they will take a damage. And notably, half of them only have 1 health. And so they will just die. When the round ends, if there's a combined total of 5 or more cultist cards in the victory display and or under this act, you must advance. This is impossible. What? Okay, wait. What? What? Okay. Let me just talk about this. Okay, we have 5 turns to do this. Firstly, we have to spend actions at the lost campsite. Each of these actions draws 1 enemy. So like, if we want to get 5 cultists out, and Maria's a cultist, we have to spend more than a turn just hitting this button. Okay, so one of our turns is just hitting this button because no cultists can spawn any other way. We have to just spend actions hitting this button. So already we have to lose 4 actions on this, right? Then we have to make sure that if we're hitting that button, this thing doesn't come to us because every turn this thing hunts and the apiary tender is a stowaway, let alone we can naturally spawn stowaways. And if that happens, it says when the enemy phase ends. So this thing hunts and then it will just defeat every single cultist at our location, especially the small ones. Now I think Maria's text might matter here. She says, oh, only when Doom would be placed, Maria takes that as damage instead. So that's a problem. Maria's going to take 1 damage next turn anyways. When damage will be placed on a cultist menu location, placed on Maria instead. Okay, no, so she dies before the cultists, but she will also die very quickly. If we have 4 cultists here and a stowaway is drawn, we have to defeat it immediately. But then on top of that, after we spend 4 actions just getting things from underneath here, we have to succeed tests off of this thing over and over again. This is impossible. What? This is straight impossible. Imagine we always succeeded by 5, which is not something that we can do. But imagine that every time we did this, we succeeded by 5. We have to spend 4 actions. Okay. We have to defeat every single stowaway. Any stowaway we draw, we just lose like 3 actions. But we have to spend 4 actions. Then we have to do a test. We have to succeed by 5. 5 actions. Move. Do a test, succeed by 5. 6 actions. Do a test, succeed by 5. 7 actions. And then at the apiary entrance, we still have to spend 5 clues. 5 different actions. Like, wait, what? We have to spend 4 actions finding cultists, then we have to get the cultists over there, and then we have to spend 4 actions and 4 clues getting the cultists out. That takes us like 12 turns. You can resign and leave these people behind? I don't think we have another choice. We can't do anything. These numbers are absurd. How soon are you meant to get here? Wait, has anyone done this? Let alone solo? This is such an absurd amount of actions. Now, when you're in multiplayer, you have a lot of extra room here because you can kind of build a chain and then like have someone pass it down, and like people with extra action can dig it. But with solo, this is impossible. You can't get out 5 cultists. What is this? I have never felt so mismatched to the expectations versus what we're capable of in my history of Arkham Horror. Okay, the cultists are dead. I mean, that's cool. I did it with 2 players, never solo. Yeah, this seems impossible solo. We're leaving, which means we're going to get the victory on this last campsite. We're going to try and get her out because like she is a named card. We also lost a victory to this, which stinks. And then ideally we should go to this fleshy paths on the eastern side and like try and do its text, which says test 2 book to search for the ancient relic. And then maybe we do the text on the ancient relic, but that's what we're doing. We're just leaving. I don't care. We are not equipped to deal with this. This seems very, very bad. I think if we ignored all the victory stuff and ignored the glyphs and went straight for this, maybe we could have done it. But I do think at the end of the day, the fact that we're stuck with doing specifically fight and book, and you have to succeed by high margins, we're just not capable of doing that. You generally do see this where there are scenarios that say like, there are 2 different skills that you can use to proceed, hoping that you can do with one of them. But very, very notably, we are a character that has bad both of those skills. Usually your character has one of those a bit better than the others. Actually, no, it's not. Sorry, it's 3 book. That's okay. But again, we might probably don't even pass that test. Like if you fail one of these tests, let alone pass by 1. Okay. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And the doom on the pilgrims accelerate the agenda too. No, because if we draw the pilgrims, they don't put doom, they put damage on Maria, right? Because you're right, if we draw a pilgrim, it says put a doom on it, but I think Maria says when doom would be placed on a cultist, we can choose to exhaust Maria to add the damage to her instead. So if we get multiple pilgrims, yeah, I guess we can. But you're right, that is also additional doom. Like the Dark Magician just adds doom every turn. So that's a problem too. Okay, we have 1 more action left. Lost Campsite has 4 shroud. We want to clear it. She's going to take 1 damage because of this apiary tender, but we're not going to stress that too much. So we just want to get this clue here. We have used our lockpicks. If we want to do a book test, we're 3 to 4. We don't want to do that. So with our last action left here, there's not much we can do. Eye of the Deep would be maybe worth dealing with. Sorry, not you. And we have currently 2 willpower. We could pay money, but well connected. We're actually kind of behind on money here. Oh yeah, that's impossible. That's upsetting. I think we just draw a card. No, we probably just gain a resource because then next turn will be on 8, and 8's a really good breakpoint. Yeah, I think we just gain a resource. We've used our Olivier. We've got an action. I think we'll just gain a resource. I think that's all we have here. Enemy phase. The apiary tender enters. We're at the same location. And so the text on the act, we have to be careful because it's pretty specific. It says when the enemy phase ends, each cultist enemy takes 1 damage for each stowaway. So Maria takes her first damage. It also says... Yeah, it says each cultist. Oh, she's not an enemy. She doesn't take damage. Cool. She's an asset. She's not an enemy. It's a very important difference. Yeah, when the enemy phase, each cultist enemy, she's a friend, so she doesn't take damage. That's cool. That's it. Oh, not that. Card and credit. 1, 2. Hey, second Olivier. Okay, we're at 8, which is a good breakpoint. Yeah, she will live. We'll get her out. We'll get a clue. We'll get her out. 1 doom. Mine are you loathsome parasites. The agenda technically has text, but it doesn't matter because there's at least an enemy at play. It says when doom is placed, if there's no enemies, you get enemies, which all the enemies are stowaways at this point, so it also forces the stowaways. Yeah, 3 of us will leave. That's like a pretty good number. This thing wakes up. We also have to watch out. We have to watch out because the, what's it called? The inescapable. has this text that says whenever you pull, or sorry, the first time each round you pull a fish face token, this thing readies. For an evade based deck, that's really scary. And notably with Eye of the Deep, we pull the fish face on 3 of the tokens because we have 2 cultists and they count as that. So we just have to watch out when we pull that, this thing moves. Still behind you. Okay, that's one of the ones we added. This thing's hopefully not that bad. It's just a 2 evade test, and we're 6-2. And it gets +1 difficulty for each copy of Still Behind You in the victory display. And if you fail, we have to do things. We're not going to read those because we're not going to fail. 6-2. That's the rogue hubris. The question is whether we use manual dexterity here to draw a card. I don't think there's any evasion tests we're going to do from this point forward. So oh no, we could do it on Hungry Walls, but actually it won't matter. Yeah, I think we just manual dexterity this just to get the cantrip, because if we use lockpicks, it's not an evade test. So we just do 8-2. We could keep it for the 1903 hammerless, but yeah, I just think we're going to run away from every single stowaway. That's the only enemies left. 8-2. Skull is -0. We succeed. We don't get an action, but this gets passed. We draw a card. Cigarettes draws a card. Weight of the World's back, classic, and that's our turn. Okay, now it's our turn. So first thing first, we'll do lockpicks. We're at 8 resources. We're currently at 6, 7, 8, 9 to 4. So if we succeed by 2, that'd be nice. So we're not guaranteed to succeed by 2, but we'll just take it. -4, we don't succeed by 2. No, maybe we should have well connected. So we break a lockpick, but we do get the clue, which means we get the victory. Yeah, maybe we should have boosted that because I don't think we're going to do another well connected this turn. It probably was correct. Okay, so then we're going to do Olivier. So fast. Yeah, we probably should have. Honestly, we should have. I should have planned out the turn better because we know when we're going to use well connected because there's no surprise tests between now and the end of the investigator phase. So we have one more action here. This is lower shroud, so we'll pop into here. So that's 2. Third, we're just going to investigate. We're currently 3-2. We'll use well connected to make it 5-2. Ideally, we succeed by a bit. None of these can boost this test besides Know the Exit and a Sudden Fall. So we're just going to do 5-2 and hope that we succeed by 2. Yeah, that was bad. We should have well connected on the lockpicks for sure. But we're still trucking forward. Elder Sign. That's perfect. So Elder Sign's +2, so we succeed by 2. So not only do we get a clue, not only do we get an action, but we also gain a resource from our Elder Sign itself. Okay, we have one more action here. We have more than enough clues. We were just doing that to get an action back. So we're going to try and leave here. But first we have to do the Hungry Walls test, which means we have a chance of failing this. So this says we're going to do 4 evade and we're going to commit a manual dexterity. So we're 8-4. This is technically the one we could have well connected. Auto fail. Okay, we don't draw a card. We lose 1 Improve Your Worth, so we don't want to fail another test by 2. We have a whole bunch of triggers. We'll take a horror and shuffle this into our deck, the Weight of the World. I'll shuffle this in a second. But most importantly, we now have to do the text on Hungry Walls. So it says we have to take 1 damage, which we'll put on Barrier Node, and we have to discard an asset we control. At this point, I think I'm just going to get rid of the Hammerless. Is that correct? Lockpicks matters because it gets into actions. Yeah. Hammerless is just 2 damage. We have 2 of these in our hand. That should be fine. This does discard, though, when we fail it. That should go there. This gets shuffled. Okay. We could, as soon as next turn, leave. All we have to do is spend an action to get her underneath the thing and then leave from that point forward. So we are technically like risking it, but we could spend 2 actions just to go ahead and resign. Firstly, get rid of her and then resign. We have a well connected to hopefully survive the encounter phase. That would be the best case. But if we want to pop into fleshy pats, we can. We're just risking losing a task progress. So it's up to us. Funny thing is, actually, we could have just gone to the Churning Chasm and waited there and fast traveled. That actually might have been better. Cool. What's also scary too is if we pulled the wrong token there, if we pulled the fish face, we would have actually taken 4 damage because this thing would have moved and then hunted. Very, very weird. We have to be very careful. When you're 2 away from this thing, it can just get you. And for solo, it's really, really scary because you don't have someone who can save you. Generally, when you play multiplayer, this card's a bit more interesting because you have to plan your turns. But yeah, for the Inescapable, if we pulled 1 of 3 tokens, this thing would have hit us for 4 damage that turn. Oh, upkeep. This thing hunts. This thing hunts. Mind you, the Inescapable has victory 0, so we're not really incentivized to try and destroy it. Upkeep, we're on 10 resources. That's a good breakpoint. We draw a B and E. Okay, that can get us a cheap evade if we want to, and we're at 2 of 6. We don't spawn an enemy. 1 encounter card. Dissonance. Oh, that's one we usually fail by 2. That's no good. Okay, at least if we fail this, we'll be able to like go for our go for this relic and not care. The test 3 willpower, we're currently 2 to 3. We can make it 4 to 3. If you fail, lose an action and choose a card type, discard all non-weakness cards of the chosen type. So we have 2 events, or 3 events, 1 asset and 1 skill. So we can lose an asset, no problem. The issue is we don't want to fail by 2 because of Prove Your Worth. So currently we're 2. I think we can just use Well Connected here to try and help. So we're at 4. We could commit Know the Exit to go to 5, and then we could just choose skill. Like, that's the thing that we've done before. It's like, if you're going to discard anyways, you can discard this. And notably, Dissonance doesn't force you to pick a choice that like allows you to change the game state. It just says choose, and then its result happens, whether or not it matters. So you can choose nothing. I think we will. I think we'll just Know the Exit here. We're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5 to 2, and then just hope for the best. We actually wouldn't, like, we're going to fail if we pull the fish face, but we won't fail by 2. Because we'll be at, no, we will. We're at 5 to 3, excuse me, not 5 to 2. 2, 3, yeah. But the fish face means this thing is on us, and if it's on us, it's less scary because we can evade it. But yeah, 5 to 3 is not great, but we pass, right? We do, +1. All right, so we didn't have to commit anything, but that's fine. We succeed by 2, we can lucky cigarette case, we will draw. We're going to draw Weight of the World like 6 times. Oh, Prestidigitation, that's fine. Okay. So now the very scary thing is if we ever do a test as our last action and we pull the fish face or occultist, the inescapable hits us. So we have to be very careful in how we want to do this. The only last thing here we can do is Fleshy Paths, is like we can go into here. We can, oh, sorry, it's the other one. We can go into here. We can do a 2 book test, which we are currently 3. The best we can make is 5 to 2. If we pull a -4, we fail by 2, so we lose Prove Your Worth. I still think we're gonna go for it. We can make it 6 to 2, which if we pull the -4, we'll still pass. So I think we just do that. So we're gonna push it. We're gonna do the rogue thing. We're gonna Olivia Bishop. We're gonna go enter here. There's no reason for us to get rid of her right now, right? Like there's no punishment for holding her. Like, can anything bad happen to her? No. No, she's just chilling. She's technically damage soak. We can use her. So I think we will keep her. So we're going to fast travel into the Fleshy Paths. All right. We're going to do the book test. We're currently 3 to 2 to do the test. 3 to 2. We're going to spend 2 on Well Connected fast to ready it. And then we're going to use it again. So we're +2. So we're 3, 4, 5. And I'll commit 1 copy of, I guess Breaking and Entering matters less. Yeah, we'll do 6 to 2 with Breaking and Entering. As 1 evade on it. 0. Okay, cool. So we succeed by 2. So we get an action back and we get to do the text on the Fleshy Paths. So Fleshy Path says, put the set aside relic asset into play under your control. Oh, there's also a thing up here I forgot about. Oh, maybe we should do that one too. So we get the ancient relic. The Leering Visage. Oh, there's so many cards that start with the word ancient. 1 second. All right. Slotless asset. If Ancient Relic would leave play, set aside out of play. Forced. After you take 1 or more damage, deal 1 damage to Ancient Relic. Uh-oh. After you take, that is, you mean assigned to you, or you mean just like when it says deal 1 damage to yourself? Like if we assign our damage to our barrier node, and shout out, actually our barrier node should have healed 1 at the start of turn, do we have to put it here? It says when you end the game with Ancient Relic under your control, flip this card and resolve its text. So that's probably good, but we just have to keep this thing alive. So we have a little bit of a protection quest here. I think you means any of our cards, I'm pretty sure. Escapable is rough in the elevator scenario. It's like pretty rough everywhere. Oh my God, solo this thing can be like really quite bad. All right, so we still have 3 actions because we did a fast move and we did a test list 1. The last thing we could probably do here is Growing Fields. We just need to do like a risk assessment. So we need to get in there. We need to evade the thing. The problem is if we ever pull the Elder Sign or the Fish Face, excuse me, it wakes up. We have to test 8 willpower, of which we have 2 willpower. We would double the skill icons of each card committed to this test. If you succeed, take control of the set aside Grizzly Mask Story Acid. And that's probably going to be one of the things that we can add to one of our item pools. However, we're at 2 willpower. So the only way to get this boosted up is by adding one of our mega wild icons. Unfortunately, all we have in our hand is 2 wild and prestidigitation. So the best we could do next turn is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like possible. I think you mean any of your cards because something that does damage to you can be assigned to any of your cards unless it's direct. It's like how Diving Suit works. But Diving Suit allows you to assign damage to it and it gets around it, right? Because diving says when any amount of damage would be placed on you. Okay, yeah, so that's it. So diving says placed on you, which means your investigator card. You taking damage is any of the cards you control. So yeah, anytime we have to take damage, we pull 1 damage on Ancient Relic. So it's not diving suit. It's worse than diving suit. Okay, so we still have a whole turn, but we can't move here because then we get boxed for 4 damage. We can move in there. We could dump a Maria, and then we could resign. The other option is try and going for the growing fields. Again, we're risking failing our task. So I think I'm going to ask chat. Y'all, what do you think we do here? I honestly think I would be relatively happy moving into Apiary, getting Maria out, and then leaving ourselves. We get to do the Ancient Relic. We've got every single victory on every location. We have done our task. And we've kept, the Relic happy. I'd be happy with that. The more ambitious thing is just to chill here for a turn. This thing comes in. We can move to its location. In fact, this turn we could do move, evade. The evade text on an escapable doesn't matter because if we evade it, it can't ready itself. Well, it will, but then we just evade it again. Then next turn we can do evade, do the test, leave. Yeah, I think we run. I think the scenario, we're getting a pretty bad outcome. I think we should just take what we have and leave. And again, we have 3 more actions, so we could do move, Maria, leave. I think we should. I'm feeling good about that. I think it's so hard to do the 8 willpower test, and if we biff it, we're in a pretty bad spot. Like, this is also kind of the issue, and this is a criticism I have about this campaign, is that like all of these item assets, at the end of the day, especially if you're playing solo, you can only bring 1 of them. I would really love if it said if you're a single player, you can bring 2 of them, because at the end of the day, these items are not usually interesting enough where one of them is like better than the other in certain scenarios. I think maybe for the best, diving suit is good in the water scenarios, but otherwise, like there's always one of them that's just best for you, and it doesn't matter. As soon as you have a multiplayer, then you're making choices to be like, oh, these are all 3 good, so maybe this one makes sense on you because you're better at doing this, and this isn't better on you because you're better at doing this. But when you're playing solo, you just take the best one. And currently, like free damage a turn seems to be the best one. If you go east, the relic you get immediately is the best relic of all of them, so like it just makes no decisions from that point. Yeah, rogues like to run. I think you're right. That's the rogue flavor here. So I think we run. Second action, we'll go to the apiary entrance. Third action, we'll spend a clue. Place a cultist enemy or asset underneath the act. We'll put Maria there. And then last action, we'll resign. You make your exit. We've done it. So when you resign, we don't read a resolution. We just go to the book and read whatever the book tells us to do. But we did get out, and we have a fair bit of victory to show for it, which is quite nice. Let's go back to the book. I think we did okay. I think that ending is impossible for us, let alone solo. But yeah, like just the amount of actions you have to spend taking people from underneath that and just getting them out of the door. So many actions, even the tests. But I'm feeling okay about that. All right, let's scroll through this a bit. You'll see a bit of the other, mind you, the other scenario interlude, which if you go the other way, you have to kind of deal with Mother, and it's a bit of a boss fight. All right, so before resolving any other resolution, if at least one investigator was defeated, nope. So we go straight to resolution. What resolution do we read? 1? Oh, no, if no resolution was reached, each investigator resigned or was defeated. Okay, cool. You pull a flailing worm from your neck as you escape the putrid tunnels. Hopefully, you aren't infected. Each investigator must search the apiary encounter set for a copy of Parasitic Transformation and add it to their deck. What did we do to deserve this? What do we got? Parasitic Transformation. It's a weakness. The art on this is good. So this is now part of our deck. Put Parasitic Transformation into your threat area. After an enemy engages you, place 1 doom on Parasitic Transformation, 2 actions to discard Parasitic Transformation. That's obviously not good. Notably, it's after an enemy engages you. If we engage it, that works. As much as Massive will have something to say about it. And it's 2 actions to discard this. I'll be honest, I don't love 2 action weaknesses in solo because you just have to find a time to do them. They don't make interesting choices. They're way more interesting when you play multiplayer because then someone can help you with it. If you don't know, you can interact with things in other players' threat areas generally. So that's a bit more interesting. But yeah, in solo, it's just like, I guess you lose a turn. So I guess we're going to lose a turn at some point. Okay, Update your campaign log. Cross out the apiary on the Relia map. If the Grizzly Mask was under control of an investigator, we've added to artifacts earned. We did not get that. Each investigator earns victory to victory X, and then check your campaign log. If we've headed west, we go to the Grand Vault. So, no story? It doesn't care that we rescued Maria? What? What? Like, we find cultists underneath Relia. We rescued the cultist leader, and there's no associated story. Like, obviously, there's story if you rescue all of them, or like, yeah, enough to hit the resolution on the back of the thing. But like, Maria just disappears. What happens to her? Wait, what's going on? There's literally nothing. We just go into the Grand Vault. Are you serious? There's no point in rescuing her? That's upsetting. Victory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, we should have just resigned. Advancing the act was the worst thing we could have done to ourselves because we literally lost a victory from advancing the act. That's cursed. Ancient relic has text. Oh my God, you're right. Yeah. We can flip over the ancient relic. Yeah, huge. Good catch. Like, but real talk, we should not have advanced the act. By advancing the act, all we did was lose. We lost a victory. That's all that advancing the act did. We could have left. All we did is lost a victory. If I knew this scenario, I would not have advanced the act. I would have just resigned. Because when you resign, it doesn't ask what act you're on. That's really annoying. Twisting portions of the relic unlock a small cylinder in the center. Inside the cylinder is an even smaller version of the same relic, and within the smaller relic is a glittering gem. Holding it up to the light projects a series of small dots that form some kind of code. One of the expedition members identifies it as a blueprint of sorts. The symbols appear to be instructions for repairing some kind of machine. You discover this glyph. It means machine, and that's not surprising. One of the encounter sets that cares about the persistent construct has this symbol. Also victory 1, so that's nice. We got another victory. Count it. So I think that's 6. Let me just translate this. Translate machine. So we're actually working pretty hard on the bottom row. I think we might have missed one, but maybe not. It's weird that it doesn't ask about her. Yeah, Maria maybe canonically gives you the cold shoulder since you let all of her friends, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think she shows up at all in the story anymore. Like, it never asks if you rescue them. Maybe it does, but there's not a lot of like things that like, there's not a lot of like story beats of like, if you do something in A, it interacts B in the Drowned City. It's mostly like, which relics have you gotten and which glyphs have you translated? You're a good Samaritan. You tried. We shouldn't have tried. We would have got more victory. That's so more rogue. So much more rogue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's it. Cool. That's all right. Notably, also, we got one more task progress. So like, that does feel good. It's just kind of strange that the story just disappears around you and we'll never hear Maria again. Okay, so honestly, that didn't take that long, but I guess, hey, when we don't start by doing an unboxing, things go a fair bit faster. But let's go ahead and spend our 6 experience here. 6 experience. We don't have to spend all of it, but we can, and we're going to spend a fair bit of it. We're getting deeper into the rogue card pool. Like, we've upgraded most of the obvious upgrades. I do think we might be at the point where we just play another day, another dollar, because we just like starting with money. But let me get the upgrades really quickly. Are you a true rogue, though? Maybe more of a guardian? I am more of a guardian player, I'll be honest. But maybe that's a solo versus multiplayer thing. Now, do keep in mind, we can only play rogue and neutral cards. The neutral cards that we consider are probably at this point just Relic Hunter. We could get another ally slot, but that means the only other ally we have access to is Andy Van Noordvik, at least until we spend experience, and we're not going to do that. But Relic Hunter for 2 cigarettes is like, honestly, not that bad. The issue is like the math about how consistently we get 2 cigarettes cases is like not very great math. And then also the second cigarette case, we generally draw at the point in the game where it's not worth installing for an action. Your action economy in solo is so tight that like spending an action just to draw a card, as much as it might be 3 or 4 cards before the game's over, maybe that's worth it. I feel like I struggle if I can't play my actions clicklessly. All right, Sticky Fingers. Do you want to hear a fun little thing about this? We have 1 in our deck. We generally don't play it. How many things did we evade this scenario? 1. We're a rogue deck with 6 evade. We evaded 1 thing this scenario. And we had to translate a glyph. Sticky Fingers, though, is like so much better when it's fast because, again, this is an economy card and spending an action and a resource makes it a negative economy card. But playing it fast, especially only when you need to play it, makes it a good card and it has better icons. Still, we're probably going to evade more things in the future. I think this is the one scenario where like every enemy is aloof, like literally every enemy is aloof besides, no, every enemy is aloof besides the Dark Magician. But I don't think we're going to take this, but it's worth keeping in mind. Another day, another dollar. It's so easy for us to take two of these. Again, so much of our deck cares about money. You see how scuffed our setup is, where like in the early game, we didn't have money, so we couldn't play like Olivier plus this. But just having 4 extra resources, is like very good because it just makes your early game smooth. And if your early game is smooth, your mid game is smooth. That's so far the best card that we've looked at. Grapevine, Silver Tongue. I don't like those. Another Well Connected is not bad. Another Well Connected is kind of feels like the what's it called, the talent slot, like on Silver Tongue. 2 of these, it's limited 1 per investigator. It just means we'll find one sooner than later. I think, again, once we get our money up and more consistent by playing Another Day, Another Dollar, then we might want the second one. Marcus Sengstack is not the worst card in the game. It's pretty not good though. But we only have so many like soak options. We only get this eventually if we get Charisma, and that's also an eventually. Now we could just jam a Black Fan in the deck, but I'll be honest, I don't know if we do. I like the Red Clock a lot better, as much as that slot is a bit harder. But this, if we have 10 more resources, we get +1 health and sanity. That does not matter. At 15 resources, you may take an additional action. Taking a 5 action turn is pretty slick. And if we have 20 or more resources, you get +1 to each of your skills. Again, I do think this is more like we need to stabilize our economy before we transition to this. And I'd honestly say there's a chance that in this chapter 2, there's not enough economy cards to make this consistent enough. The way that you had like Hot Streak and Faustian Bargain in season 1. Where this card also existed. The Red Clock I do like a lot. I think Red Clock is just such a sick card. It gives you a lot of things in solo, but it is 10 experience, as much as we don't have to spend all our experience. Okay, we're at the events. Some of these events are nice. Decisive Strike. I don't like this one because it makes us use our fight test, but once we have a Well Connected, it's better. And it technically is another econ card in our deck. This means we do 2 damage for a single event, which is not bad. But yeah, it's not amazing icons. Clean Sweep. This is free movement if we empty a place. It adds our 2 stats together, so it basically becomes lockpicks, and it's nice to have another lockpicks on top of our breaking and entering. And it gets us a move, which is not bad. Yeah, honestly, that's like a struggle with solo. It's a card we could consider. For 2 experience, it feels a bit expensive. Quick Exit. This adds our willpower, so we go up to 7 at least. It's evade. If you succeed in evade, enemy is not elite. The enemy does not ready during the next upkeep phase. That is not text we have currently cared about. Generally, there's 2 kinds of enemies. Enemies that we're evading and just keeping away from them, or enemies that have to die. When the enemies have to die, this text is not super relevant. This card, I think, is probably a good upgrade. 3 experience is wild. Fast if you successfully invade an enemy. Only 1 enemy we invaded so far this game. Discover 1 clue at your location, and if you succeed by 2 or more, also discover a clue at a connecting location. That's good text. That's a relatively great upgrade. 2 clues fast is very, very good for 2 resources. I like that a lot. Okay, new Out of Sight. We didn't play the original one. Only adds foot, and mind you, our foot stat's already 5 or 6, so we don't actually need 3 more foot, as much as you can add this to your Thieves kit. If this test is successful by 1 or more, the performing investor may disengage from each enemy and move to any revealed location up to 2 connections away. Now, this is a revealed location, which for scenarios that you backtrack is good, but for scenarios where you're the only investigator and you're required to reveal locations, generally in solo, you try and clean an area before going to the next area because moving is just very expensive. Now, when you play multiplayer, somebody can empty locations this way and you can go reveal locations that way, and then this allows you to like catch up. So this seems way more limited in solo, and there's even going to be some scenarios where this does nothing, so I'm not going to consider it too much. There's just not a lot of cards currently in season 2. Contingency is the last one. It's not a bad card. While Contingency is committed to a skill test targeting an enemy, after revealing chaos tokens, you may spend 3 resources to cancel a token and return to the chaos bag and reveal a new one. And you can do this as many times as you want. This just means you can't fail. And it's also 2 wilds, which our deck honestly doesn't mind. But the problem is, I think every single card here is unfortunately less impactful than just starting with 4 more resources. I am so boring. I'm so sorry. But I need to emphasize permanent cards are the best cards in the game because they make your setup, the part of the game where you're the weakest, the most consistent you can ask for. I think we're spending 6 influence on 2 copies of Another Day, Another Dollar. That's it. That's the Apiary. What are we off to next? Next is the one with the moving platform, I think. It's a really cool one. That actually might be my favorite scenario in this whole campaign. Apiary is interesting. The difference between East and West, I don't think it's possible for us to do West solo. East is like a boss battle, and I think I mentioned before it can be a bit tedious, but I think we definitely would have been a bit better positioned for that one. It is quite possible. When you do go West, and that's why this thing says when you advance, you might not be able to investigate anymore. It wipes the board and builds an extra board where you're kind of stuck in the mother's nest and have to deal with it. The elevator, no, next one's not the elevator. I think it goes moving platform, then elevator, then rooftops, and then we're out. So we have 3 more in Rilia, because I don't think we can get the 4th one, and then we have 2 more back in Arkham. So we are just hitting the halfway point. I think this is the halfway point right now, right between the 2. But yeah, I think it's the movement one. Yeah. And then it's elevator, rooftops. I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it. Yeah, that sounds right? Yeah, next is Court of the Ancients. No, next is the Grand Vault. Yeah, Court of the Ancients is the elevator. That'll be coming up. I think we're well equipped for that one too, because we have to evade constantly. That's one we're going to be evading all the time. So I think for the elevator one, we should probably get Sticky Fingers into our deck. The next one is where the inescapable can be done. Yes. Yeah, the next one is where the inescapable can be dealt with. Rooftops is the one with the wind. Yes. Rooftops is the one with the huge setup and all the rules that are easy to miss. And as a second scenario, it's like such a big jump up in complexity. Cool, that's it. We're trucking along. Mind you, we stream Monday. We're trying to stream Wednesdays. That's going to be a bit more consistent. I don't expect us to be streaming next Monday. That's usually when I play Arkham in person. Sometimes our group can meet up. There's 4 of us, so that does happen every once in a while, as much as you hate to see it. So we'll be back next Wednesday. Thanks so much for hanging out. We've been having a good time here, playing through the Drowned City. I do need to say like a whole bunch of things that we always say. Firstly, if you've been enjoying this content, this is a new channel. If you want to take a second to leave a like, leave a comment, also subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified when more stuff comes out, let alone, when we go live, stuff like that. It is just like the best thing you can do if you appreciate content like this, because it just means the channel will grow in the algorithm and be pushed out to more people. And that's how this channel gets bigger. And that's just like a nice thing to do. That's it. I think at some point we're going to be doing content on this channel that's not just strict gameplay. There's a lot to talk about. I don't think we're going to be seeing new cards for a moment, but when it comes to like building from the chapter 2 core set, whether it's for solo play or multiplayer, I also want to just show off other investigators. So I don't know whether we're going to intersperse 2 campaigns at the same time, where like one day of the week we play one campaign and the other day of the week we play another campaign with a different character. I don't know, but what you're interested in and what you're not interested in, please let me know, whether it's in the chat or in the comments, because I haven't watched a lot of Arkham horror gameplay. I don't know how people interact with this sort of stuff, as much as I'm very excited to be able to play Arkham horror like this. Fortunately, the rogue cards are boring so far. Yeah, the fact that like a lot of them are just like strict upgrades of the original events, and a lot of those events I don't like to play. I do think we're going to get to a point where we'll have more experience than things to do with it, and we're going to end up being like, okay, Relic Hunter, okay, Black Fan and stuff like that, or more accurately, Red Clock. Hoping you bring Marie back. Yeah, Marie was so much fun. I do like Andre a fair bit. I think Andre is actually pretty sick. Is been pretty consistent for a solo play. So I've actually appreciated that. I thought Andre would be a bit sketchy, and I guess as long as you find your assets, it's not too bad. I think that's it. We'll be back in a week. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Again, please, any feedback, if you want to share this to somebody you think would appreciate the content, that's also super appreciated. And that's mostly it. Things went on well today, besides the last part, which I don't think we had a shot against it, but I don't feel bad about it. Andre's cool. Problem is the cards. Yeah. I could see Andre with a bigger card pool being quite nice. It's gonna be a while before we get more cards, unfortunately, but I still think there's a lot to play with. Good night, Andre. Hey, Lucas, thanks so much for dropping by. Also, Water Lily, thanks so much for joining. Super stoked to hear that you play in Arkham. Hopefully you had a good time with the stream. And we'll be back in a week. The Inescapable would be back as well. That's usually how it goes. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.